Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than red counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pasco, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. We would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
It's crunch time for England as they go in search of a win that would keep them in the game, as it were. Not just this game, but the series as a whole. It's 2-0 to India. There was an absolute mothering in the first game. The second game was altogether closer and could have gone either way. Sadly for England, it ended up going the way of Tilak, who was absolutely brilliant again on whatever day it was. I think it was Saturday. Every day comes alike to me. Good morning, good afternoon, good dawn, good dusk, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Guerrilla Cricket. I'm Gorilla Hendo, Nigel Henderson, and alongside me, for the first time in this series, I think, it's Jason G. Jason G. Hiscox is here.
Welcome, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello. And many miles away. Now, I'm pretty sure I asked you whether you were still in Cambodia on Saturday. Are you still in Cambodia?
Yes, I am.
It's an Indo. And he's in Cambodia. We are in Sydenham, southeast London, and the game is in Rajkot. Do you have any sort of insights into what to expect from the Rajkot pitch? We already know that once again India have won the toss, and once again they put England into bat. What are your feelings? Another Indian victory on the cards?
I don't know. I think it depends on whether England's got better at playing the Indian spinners, because there's still 3 of them in there. So I'm suspecting that they expect the pitch to take a bit of turn.
Well, there's 4 of them actually, isn't there? There's
Bishnoi, Chakravarti.
Patel and Sundar.
Oh, there's yeah. How could I
Yep.
forget Akshar Patel?
Yes,
Yeah, so
indeed,
four-
indeed.
four.
So 4
Yeah.
spinners, I know. Yeah, and I think we
I
saw.
mean, if they don't expect the surface to spin, they must be on something which whatever they are on. I want some of that.
Is it because not so much that they expect the surface to spin, it's just that they know how poor England's batsmen seem to be against slow bowling. Let's not say spin.
Well, that's taking too much of a chance, right?
Well, you would have thought.
On a T20 in a T20 format with small grounds. So I think it's probably it will take some turn, yes.
Okay, well we'll look for that, and of course England going with a team that is packed with it has 2 very fast bowlers and then 2 reasonably fast bowlers,
Yes.
and not much in the way of spin apart from Adil Rashid, who bowled beautifully actually on Saturday. What was it he took? Was it 2 for 14 in his 4 overs? And really, England were crying out for someone of similar calibre, Jason.
Well, they used to have a panoply of part-time bowlers, but they don't seem to have used them. I mean, Livingston hasn't been really used at all.
Oh yeah, he was. Livingston was bowling, and I mean he came on for the
didn't bowl
penultimate
particularly
over,
well.
didn't he? Yeah, I mean
Yeah, well, that's poor game management. They should
It
try
was.
him earlier.
Well, I think he had bowled 1 over earlier, and then they brought him back, and I think that Josh Buttler was in a bit of a quandary. First of all, he called up Mark Wood to bowl the penultimate over. Then he called in Jamie Overton. Then eventually the ball got past to Liam Livingstone, and he's not he's not a brilliant leg spinner, but he's a better leg spinner than he is off spinner, in my opinion. You always expect him to bowl a bad ball, but he might also bowl a wicket-taking ball. When he's bowling against very dominant left-handers, trying to spin the ball away from them, he's not as
I'd have bowled
successful.
Root in that situation.
Well, there is a case, isn't there, being made by Joe Root himself in South Africa at this very moment. I mean, he's doing very well for Pal Royals, not just opening the batting, but actually taking wickets as well.
Yeah, it's one thing you know about Joe Root is he will turn the ball if he bowls it on a decent length. The problem is he's bowling it on a decent length.
And also, of course, he can slide the ball through, can't he, with his round-armed approach sometimes.
For some time, for the past couple of tours, he's been the best spinner England's brought to India. That's for sure.
There you go. Well, that kind of says it all, doesn't it, really? I should say then the teams line up with very few changes. Well, in fact, in the case of England, absolutely no changes. So we're looking for Jofra Archer not to go for 60 runs in his 4 overs this time. India make just the one change, and it's the return of Mohammad Shami. Give us an update on that and how you think that pans out for India. Arshdeep is the man who makes way at an Indo.
I think India's been trying to get Shami back for a while. They would have loved to get him back in Australia, but he wasn't fit enough to go there. So they got him to start playing Ranji Trophy while the team was in Australia. They definitely want him to be an integral part of the Champions Trophy team. So this is where he starts getting back into international cricket after 14 months.
Yeah, and I suppose that's important that he, in the same way with regards to someone like Mark Wood, who hasn't played for a long time, and has actually, in my opinion, looked very good in the first couple of games.
Yes.
But Mohammad Shami, we talk about this series actually having no meaning, but I suppose if it's getting players like Mark Wood and Mohammad Shami back up to speed a little bit before the ODIs and then before the Champions Trophy, then that's got to be beneficial.
Absolutely worth it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, there's in terms of prestige, there's not a lot on this. In terms of match preparation, there's an awful lot on this.
Yeah. Although we don't. When do we next have a T20 World Cup? Probably not until next year, I would
I
imagine.
think it's next year.
They
Yeah.
26, next year.
Yeah,
It's
they-
every 2.
Yeah, they come around with incredible regularity, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. So yes, India line up with Sanju Samson, Abhishek Sharma, Tilak Varma, Suryakama Yadav, Dhruv Jurel, Hardik Pandya, Washington Sundar, Akshar Patel, Rafi Bishnoi, Mohammad Shami and Varun Chakravarti. who's been pretty successful with his odd mixture of mystery spin. Phil Salt, Ben Duckett, Joss Buttler, Harry Brook, Liam Livingston, Jamie Smith, Jamie Overton, Bryden Cast, Jofra Archer, Adil Rashid, Mark Wood. Someone's got to score some runs apart from Joss Buttler, haven't they, Jason?
Yep. It would be nice if the openers could last at least 2 overs.
Yeah, and I mean...
They seem to be completely at sea against Arshdeep. Certainly Salt seemed to be at sea against Arshdeep.
Well, he might be happy that Arshdeep has been left out of this game. Anyway,
Phil needs to be worth his salt.
He does indeed. Boom, boom. Anyway, are they going to open with Shami? Oh, hang on. Has he had a hair weave? I think he's got a lot more hair than when I last saw him.
He spent 14 months away. He might as well have gone and had a transplant. Yeah.
We'll jingle him up in a minute. He's going to bowl his first ball in a long time. And, for poor old Phil Salt, it comes much the same. It's a swing and a miss. And through to the keeper it goes. Shall we do some jingling?
I do. Here's the batsman.
Get up on there. So salt, yeah, Phil is here. Want you to push it good into the offside. Scores runs around the park. There's no way you can hide. Push it. So salt, yeah, Phil is here.
Yeah, we've got a ring of 4 on the offside. In comes Shami, a mistimed drive, but quite an effective one as far as Phil Salt's concerned, because that's gone straight past the bowler and all the way down to the boundary for one of these. Maybe not quite so much mistiming, but he did seem to close the face of the bat, and maybe that was deliberate. I don't think so. It was a rather horrible looking shot, to be honest. No foot movement at all through the hands of it. I'm sure he was aiming that somewhere through extra cover, but
that's the kind of shot I used to do.
And I think you can play those sorts of shots with these bats. Oh, now that comes back into him a little bit. Plays it nicely with good timing, but picks out Abhishek at mid-wicket, and there is no run. Salt seems to me to be developing into a very Jason Roy-like player in the sense that he's all or nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, literally all or nothing.
A bit Marmite.
Yeah. He's, he seems to get hundreds for fun, but also he gets out in the first over quite regularly.
Well, he seems to love the West Indies for obvious reasons.
Yes, he does like the West Indies. That's true. Shami in again. Slipper's gone. Driven again. This is nicely timed, but once more picking out the captain at mid-off. And there is no run. We should say hello to people, shouldn't we, very shortly?
Yep.
The GPL will be open. Have to find out what's in the GPL.
It is 44 quid. The Weathermeister has already told us.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for that, Mr. Weatherman.
And you've got 5-6 hours to do it. Get your money in.
No, I've got 45 minutes. 45 minutes from the start of play. It's the Gorilla Prediction League. You estimate how many runs can be scored in this match. That's beautifully timed by Salt off his legs. He's running the first one fast, looking for a second. Duckett had turned and had come a couple of yards, but I don't think it was really on.
No.
So Duckett will get to face his first ball.
And here's his jingle.
And Duckett.
He is not very tall.
And Duckett.
But sometimes he hits the ball
Hard.
And Duckett. And Duckett.
I might even get Shami's jingle in by the end of the over.
You might just do that. Duckett again, another player who needs some runs in this series, hasn't really got going. And there's a slip and a very fine man on the 45, almost a short third man. He's going to get a single as he whips that away into the onside. Mid-on does the fielding, and that is the end of the first over. England 6 for none. That's pretty much what you can expect from England these days. They tend to score all their 4s in the power play and then nothing. Jason.
Mayank says, morning all. Philip Shaw says, hi from Gowran Abbey Nursing Home. Dara Aziz says, hi. Linux Layer says, hi. And Linux is already giving an India, taking him to task. He says, come on, an India. Something like, this should be worth his sodium chloride. or something like that was right there in terms of salt puns.
Oh, I see. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Hardik Pandya. He's opened the bowling in both of the games so far, and he's going to do it again. He was much more successful on Saturday than he was on the previous
now
Wednesday.
then, shall I?
And in breaking news, Hardik Pandya.
Ducker stays leg side of the ball and then punches away through extra. There is one of the two men out at cover, and so it's just a single. Just to talk about nursing homes, it made me think of an extraordinary story I read in It's a Funny World in Private Eye this week about a 38-year-old screenwriter who's decided to go and live in a care home because it's quieter.
It's probably more conducive to having creative thoughts as well.
Well, yes, I know. Says I might stay here forever. I don't know. Hardik in bowls a short ball which Salt pulls out of. I thought that was a little bit big on him and might have been signalled wide, but nothing given by the umpires.
Wasn't Tony the one getting very upset that someone sent him suggestions on care home?
Oh yes, someone did. Who was that? On the Gorilla
he
WhatsApp.
He got unsolicited direct mail.
Oh, that's right. He was getting lots of information about
definitely about
cremations.
head height.
I
That
think it
should
was.
be a wide.
That should have been a wide. Yeah.
It could have been wide, yeah. It's way above it.
Poor decision, I'm afraid to say. Yeah, I mean, you get to a certain age, you do start to get this unsolicited mail. Hardik in again, a slower ball. He smashed it and he's caught. Salt, it's 4 and out for Phil Salt in this series, pretty much, although he has actually made it to 5. He hit it well. He hit it at head height and he hit it straight at extra cover. And he is gone, and England have got off to another poor start, and it means that Jos Buttler, batting now in his unfamiliar position of 3, is in pretty much, well, only just after the first over.
On your bike, mate.
Yep. General Raspberry for that shot.
Yes, it's
Just a bit of a flat-footed slap, wasn't it?
well, that describes Phil Salt a lot of the time, doesn't it?
What, a slapper?
It's a bit of a slapper. Yes, it's true. So Jos Buttler is on his way, and he's thinking, "Oh God, do I have to do everything?" Bit like Joe Root in the England Test team for so long. He's got to come out and perform because there's no one else to do so. Anyway, England then 7 for 1, and Hardik has 1 for 1.
Whilst we're getting people to the crease, Dorothy says, "Does Crawley play T20s?" Yes, but not very well at the moment.
Where's
First
he
baller in South Africa, I think it was.
Did he get a? Was he run out without facing or something? I don't know. I got the impression that he hadn't actually even faced a ball, and I don't really know any other ways to get out without facing a ball than run out.
Frong says hello to us. Hopes everyone's well. Why do they start cricket matches at 8:30 p.m? It's not good for rum.
Not good for rum.
It's very good for rum, I would have thought.
Oh yeah, I would have said almost perfect for rum. Hardik then in the bowls to Buttler, who plays a little bit of a loose, airy-fairy shot, gets a big inside edge up to mid-on, and there is no run. Now, if Buttler doesn't score runs, it means that really Jamie Smith and Brooke have got to come good. Otherwise, England are going to fall short of a decent target. I don't know whether we've got any info without Tony here and without having read a piece by Arian in front before the game. I don't know what the average first innings score in T20s or IPL or internationals here. In comes Hardik again. That's played defensively really by Buttler, but it's with enough time to give him the opportunity to make it to the other end for a single.
And then the fielder remonstrates with the rest of the teammates about him being so far away from the ball that he couldn't stop the single. That looked very odd.
It was a strange piece of cricket in a way. It was almost all in slow motion. England 8 for 1. This has been a poor over for them. You only get 6 overs in the power play, and They've nearly used up 2. They've only got to 8.
The average first inning score is 189.
Oh, right, okay. Full, floaty, on leg stump, turned by Duckett. Is he going to get some runs? He's going to get 4 of them, just about, because the attempt down there at deep backward square wasn't the best from Washington Sunder, though he is quite a tall man, has to get down a long way. He did manage to get a hand on the ball, but it trickled back into the sponge, and England at least pick up 4, so they're now 12 for 1 after 2. Jason.
Right, let's see. Pirate Basher says, of course, when salt gets out, England are desalinated.
Oh, that's a very, very good point. Maybe we could just infuse him with seawater. Where is Rajkot? I have to say I'm ignorant. An Indo.
I'll find it on the map.
It's reasonably central, I thought, but
Yes, it's central India, but I can tell you exact.
Leah says, looks like Philly's more potassium cyanide for the innings. Yeah,
fair point. Shami starts his second over. He's coming into Buttler, and Buttler plays at that one. Has he got an edge to that? Well, it's not surprising that we might have thought so, because the ball actually seemed to deviate. I'm guessing it was just swing after it had missed the bat, but that gave an impression perhaps of a little bit of Wood being involved, not Mark Wood, of course. Score remains 12-1. He's definitely had work on his hair, hasn't he?
Yeah. So Rajkot's on the absolute western coast of India.
It's on the coast.
But it's near the coast. It's
Oh,
not
right. So we could get some seawater pumped in.
That's in Gujarat. No, it's not near. It's really not next to the sea.
Sorry, I thought you said it was near the coast.
Near the coast, but not that near the coast.
Oh, right. Okay, it needed a very, very long pump. Defended square on the offside by Buttler. Ball, I'm just thinking maybe there's not a huge amount of pace in this wicket. That just seems to sort of hit quite low down on the bat, didn't it?
I mean, that was a lovely ball by Shami that just took the seam very slightly and then swung after it passed the bat.
Yeah, and also, it wasn't particularly well kept by Sampson. He's brought a slip in now, which is interesting enough, and he's gone for the drive down the ground in the air. He's cleared mid-off, but he didn't really get as much on that as he wanted. Got too much underneath it rather than hitting it long, as we often see Jos Buttler, but he's going to get back for 2. England moved to 14 for 1. Run rate of 5.6 at the moment. On this basis, I mean, are there now actually fewer cricketers that have not had hair weaves, that have had hair weaves, than have not had hair weaves? Shami in again, bowls to Buttler. Buttler defends. Good timing though. He's going to get a single. It's shot back past Shami. It's fielded by his captain at mid-off, running around to his right. They take 1. 15 for 1. And Brendan McCullum, who's not had the greatest start as the white ball coach, he doesn't change, does he, in his attitude or his outward appearance. He's always... he reminds me of me a little bit. He likes to slump back in his chair with his feet up, which is kind of excusable for someone of my age.
Person in every sense.
Well, I'm not laid back. It's just that I'm lazy. Whereas
his expression doesn't. He's very poker faced, actually.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Duckett gets a chance to face up to Shami.
Duckett, the red-nosed reindeer.
And maybe we should do a new jingle on that basis. Shami's round the wicket, trying to cramp him for room, and succeeds on this occasion. All he can do is just guide it out into the offside. Good length ball. And there is no run. Again, the miserable Brits, the miserable English fans in the audience, the crowd.
Does remind me of the 2007 World Cup where England, Pakistan turned out to be Bangladesh versus Ireland. And there's lots of Indian people in the West Indies with placards saying, "You cost me £3,000."
Well, now Duckett comes across his crease and he plays his little lift shot, and he's played it extremely well, because I think that's gone all the way, hasn't it? His little ramp shot.
I'm sure why he's getting that checked. That looked like he was like about 8 yards over the boundary.
It is definitely. Well, Sky have already considered it a 6 even before the umpire. So that was useful for England. They moved to 21 for 1, 3 overs complete.
Shami's had 2 transplants as Mayank.
Oh,
Rajkot is in Gujarat, Western India. Yes, so. And Akshar Patel apparently also has a hair transplant.
Arshdeep.
Aksar.
Oh, Axar. Okay.
I always seem to think Aksar's got quite a fine head of hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought he would have needed a weave or a transplant.
Not yet, anyway.
No. Hardik. Buttler gives himself room and then plays an awful shot. He
Slow ball.
stepped outside leg stump.
He got Phil Salt with a slow ball as well.
Yeah, hang on, we're just going to have a look at this Duckett shot. It's you just need the most exquisite timing to play that shot.
Yeah,
and you've really got to watch the ball, haven't you?
Well, it's right off the meat, right at the very bottom end of the sweet spot of the bat.
It makes it look like you've got so much time to do it. I mean, I can imagine if I was trying to do that, I wouldn't have even managed to get the bat in the right place by the time the ball arrived. Hardik continues. Yeah, it was an awful shot from Buttler. This one's better. He's going to get a single. He's going to have to hurry though. And throw comes in, and it's not far away. And I wouldn't mind seeing that again.
If that hit, he might have been short.
I think he might have been in trouble.
He didn't seem to be motoring though.
It didn't. Well, it looked like he set off. It was like one of those sort of cartoon situations where his legs didn't seem to be going fast enough, even though he was, putting a lot into it. Let's have a look. Would he have been out? Ooh, it would have been incredibly tight. That's all I can say.
I think he would have been in. But he also had to get past Sky, or Hardik.
Hardik, yeah. 22 for 1. Was it Sirikuma who was?
Yeah, he's fielding at mid-off.
Yeah.
He was the one who had a chat earlier about, why am I so far back?
Why have I put myself so far back? Yes, as captain of this team. 22 for 1. Hardik comes in again. Bowls to Duckett, who he gives himself room, and he tries to cut it through the offside, but hang on, he's been sent back. They were going through for a single, and you would have thought they would have got the single, even though it was cut off. But obviously something spooked Buttler, and he ended up sending Duckett back.
Probably the last ball.
Oh, actually, he's gone a long way. Butler's just ball watching, isn't he?
Wow.
Yeah, Buttler was just staring to see whether it got past the fielder. Was that Bishnoi?
It's an excellent piece of fielding.
It really was a good piece of fielding.
Full stretch to get one hand on that.
That was
just
direct.
bat it down.
Yeah, that was good.
Drove to Urel, I think it was.
Yeah, good piece of fielding. Very good piece of fielding. Right, so England struggling again a little bit here. Shami over the wicket to Duckett. Duckett pulls, and he pulls firmly and well. That's one of his favourite shots. There's no one at deep mid-wicket, and it's 4 runs.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary,
And Duckett's right back in his crease as he plays that shot, and I did notice that certainly the left-handers in the Indian side, the tall left-handers, of which there are 3 or 4, were using the crease very well on Saturday, going very deep. It's a real new technique, isn't it? I mean, you never thought of going that deep in your crease in the olden days for fear of treading on your stumps. This is chopped over the top of extra, again giving himself room, and successive boundaries for Duckett takes him to 20 from 8. England 30 for 1. GPL is open. £44 in the pot. The GPL is the Guerrilla Prediction League. It's a game of skill and forecasting. We want you to forecast how many runs in total will be scored in the day. You have 45 minutes from the start of the game in which to do so. Go to guerillacricket.com/competition. Follow the instructions. You pay us £1 for every guest that you have, and you can have as many as you like. You've got to get it on the nose though. Hardik in full slower, but Duckett is now in the mood, and he lifts that one bounce to cow for a third successive 4. Duckett's on his way. England on their way. They hope. They're 34 for 1 off 4.
Now my innings going, great guns. I hit the ball, 4 runs. I hit the ball and it went for 4 runs.
Duckett's been middling it since the time he came in today. He's really been middling it today.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't get a lot of chance to middle it in his previous 2 games because he got out too quickly. But yeah, he's once he finds his range, you feel as if Duckett can do all sorts of exciting things. Anyway,
Leah has changed to her computer from her smartphone because she likes having a keyboard and her thumbs are too fat.
my thumbs are too fat as well. I can't. Yeah, phone's difficult. Oh, Washington Sunday's on, bowling to Buttler. Oh, goodness me. Well, he leant back and he pulled that and he mistimed it horribly in the air. He was sort of leaning back, trying to hit it too hard, I think.
It's just a bit of an ugly smear, wasn't it?
It was a smear up to long on. He's got a single from it. We'll jingle up the new bowler in a minute. He only bowled the 1 over in the end, didn't he, Washington, on Saturday? Yep. He's got such is the abundance of spinning riches. Duckett gives himself room again, chops it through, and there's not much of a gap between cover and extra, but he finds it, and effectively he's hit 4 4s in a row.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary,
And he's actually, when he's hit that, you would almost say the ball is ever so slightly outside leg stump, and he's forced it back through the offside. Sunder again. Oh, he's brought out the reverse sweep, which brought his downfall, and he's just hit a fifth four in a row. 43 for 1. Well, actually, we'll go back to that because we were commenting on it on Saturday, weren't we? That he didn't even have a look at Washington Sunder.
Yeah,
he tried to reverse sweep his first ball and got caught. At least he's had a look this time. Oh, and now he's trying to play a pull shot and is beaten by that one outside the leg stump. We have to say that has stopped the run of 4s from Duckett.
The other day, he'd just about come in at that point in time, right? Washington bowled the second over probably that day.
It might well have been, yes. It might well have been.
It was.
Here he is again. Bowls. He's down the wicket, and he's lifted that. Has he lifted it far enough? Yes, he has. Well, he said, well, I missed out on the 4 on that occasion, so I might as well just hit a 6. And he has done. You never feel, though, that England are necessarily in, because Axel Patel, I think, went for 12 off his first over on Saturday and then came back quite well. Washington Sunder has now gone for 15 from his first 5 balls. Important that Duckett keeps going, really.
Well, yeah, he's got to start.
Every single shot's come from the middle of the bat.
Yep. Man's gone out at wide, long off now. Sunder in, and he's looking for another reverse sweep. There's an appeal for LBW, more from the wicketkeeper than the bowler.
I don't see how.
Looked a bit high to me.
Outside the leg.
It might have pitched outside the leg. I don't think it. I'm not sure it did because I don't think it turned back enough.
I don't think it turned, and I think the keeper took it without it turning, so it wouldn't have hit the stumps anyway. I
thought maybe it was just a little bit high, but we shall have a look because after much discussion, well, about 11 seconds of discussion, Suryakumar has decided to go upstairs. We wait for the final ball of my spell, or the final decision, or the final moment of my spell. Taking over on the
ball by ball is Dylan. Who's in the green room.
Has he been? Have you admitted him?
I have admitted him.
Significantly outside the leg stump.
No, it's outside the off stump because he's a left-hander and he's playing a reverse sweep. Nothing on the bat. It's certainly not too high. I misread that completely, I have to say.
The hell out of you.
Ooh, I think.
At best, that's umpire's call.
Yes.
Yeah, the reverse sweep confused the hell out of me in terms of the off and leg.
It does that to it. It's normally Tony who gets caught out by that. Impact outside. Absolutely no problem.
Well, that's a silly review.
Well, India's reviewing wasn't brilliant on Saturday, but that said, it hadn't really caused them too many problems. That's the end of the fifth over. England are 49 for 1. So the Bear is going to come in and join us. Dylan is going to take over on ball by ball, and I'm sitting here doing some summarising. The Bear's on socials. Dylan, hello.
Hello, it's great to be back. What a start we've had to this game, and it's gone off to a wonderful start here for England. Duckett's on a roll, isn't he, Tony?
Tony? I'm not Tony.
No, he's not Tony.
I'm Hendo.
That's Hendo, and I'm Nigel. All right, Dill. Chill out, man. Chill out.
See, Tony, the ghost of Tony haunts us even when he's not here.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
So
looks like
Chakravarthi's been brought into the attack. He's been really instrumental in the middle overs so far, particularly in the first T20. He secured figures of 3 for 23. So let's see how Buttler's going to take him on as he comes in.
yeah, Butler's not. I mean, considering Butler's got runs in this series, he's looked horribly out of touch today so far.
This comes into bowl, and Buttler takes him on straight away. Going on to the leg side, they'll pick up a single for that. Yeah, Butler's been looking a bit subdued, but it'll be interesting to see how he approaches Chakravarthi here, because his ability to contain runs and take crucial wickets in the first T20s can potentially disrupt England with the momentum they've been building so far.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. It's 50's up, by the way, but it's England have struggled because the wickets have gone down too regularly and too early in their innings in the first two games.
Chakravarthi now coming around the wicket to Ben Duckett, and Duckett just tentatively defending that back. We saw in the previous game he tried to reverse sweep Washington Sundar in his first delivery and found himself out, but he's been taking his time to just suss out the spinners here so he can plan his attack. Chakravarthi comes into bowl again and he pulls out the reverse sweep. Duckett just connects that and they'll pick up a single.
Well, there aren't too many reverse sweeps that end up going through mid-off. But that one is one of them. Quite entertainingly, old Sanju Samson behind the stumps he was diving away to his left, to his right there, and probably had no idea where the ball had gone in completely the other direction, in fact.
Yeah, Chakravarthi back over the wicket now to Jos Buttler as he comes into bowl. And Buttler comfortably nudges that away for a single. So it's been interesting to see Buttler. He's been batting at number 3 this series. A really strategic move to kind of strengthen the top order.
But he's always in the first over.
Well, he wasn't. I mean, today was the second over, but absolutely, yeah. He's been in within the first 9 balls. He's out there, isn't he? So it hasn't really worked so far.
Well, he's used to opening, so it doesn't matter.
I really think his role in these middle overs will be really pivotal in anchoring the innings here. He played phenomenally in the first game, especially. Chakravarthi, again, not going for too many runs here. He's really improved a lot since his last feature in the Indian team. In his pace, his consistency, and just his potency in his line and length.
Yes, this is a good over from India so far, isn't it?
Certainly. Run rate just creeping below 9 as Chakravarthi comes in, and that is subdued for a dot there.
It's a bit like Mousley, just bowls flat and fast.
Yeah, although he's got a few more variations, I think.
Yes,
than
Mousley, yeah, indeed. Listen, it's there's been no messages as far as I can see on YouTube. It's fine, you can send them in, but I've got an important announcement. We've been threatening this for a while, but we have an offer. We're out.
Are we?
We're kaput.
Oh no!
Gorilla Towers is going to be no more. I've had an offer this week. Should be out before the end of the IPL. Which means, peeps, we're going to get back on the pleading for patrons because, as you know, we got to go and get commercial space now. We have nowhere else to go. We were homeless before we came here, and we've been here for how many years? Since 2016. So
yes.
We've been here for 8 years. We're only supposed to be here for a year, so that's pretty good going.
Viewers, show the support where you can. We certainly need it.
Exactly. So remember, smash the like button and subscribe. Super chatters, but more than anything, we need over to you, Dill.
And you're driven away. What are your thoughts on Ravi Bishnoi as a bowler? I don't think
You know, I think in T20 as a spinner, you don't have to be massively wily, do you? I mean, you have to be listen, if you're going to go at 9 and over, you can bowl darts and hope that no one picks you up, right? Same as any pace bowler. I mean, it's a batsman's game. I mean, everything's stacked for the bowler.
He bowls predominantly googlies. I'm not seen as a leg break turn too much as he comes into Ben Duckett here.
That was a googly.
Duckett cuts away, and that's a dot ball there. England 53 for 1. The run rate has slowly crept down to below 9. Its current partnership is 46 off 29 deliveries.
But this is the first game where we haven't lost 3 wickets in 6 overs, or we only lost 2 in 1?
It's certainly a much better start.
Yeah. And there's some power hitting to come, and there's only, 14 overs left, so...
Again, cautiously tucked away by Duckett for a single. And the encouraging thing about this particular stadium, Rajkot, is that it's renowned for its batting-friendly conditions. So the first innings score, as we discussed within the power play, earlier, I mean, the first inning score is typically around 189. So this suggests that England should capitalise on the conditions here, score as much as they can. Buttler reverse sweeps on this occasion, just beats the man, and that races away for 4.
That was not too far from the batsman, but we'll give it then.
2 + 2 is our man.
Yeah, and I hope this isn't a commentator's curse, but I'm not that fussed about Buttler being a bit sluggish to start with. If he gets 20 balls, he'll get off, and if he's there at the end, he should get off. And B, Duckett's got 9 off 19, 40 off 20 balls. So.
Yeah, no, and I was going to say it's a good job that Duckett's going well.
And Buttler comes down the ground, and that's all the way for 6.
That's
no
massive.
question about that. He's in the zone now. Joss Buttler.
Yeah. I mean, that cleared the boundary at long on by a very long way indeed.
Absolutely right there, Bear. There's no concern whatsoever if Butler's taking his time to get in. He's certainly got his iron now.
Well,
to India.
The point I was going to make is I don't think it was a case of him getting his iron. I just don't think he was timing the ball. I think he was probably trying to hit it a little bit too hard.
Yeah. As Bishnoi comes in now, slightly back of the length, Buttler squeezes that away for a single. Good change of length there from Bishnoi.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? I mean, as a spinner, you almost bowled it down a half tracker. Because they don't get there quick enough to turn it around the corner. After the power play, you've got 5 people out. The chances are it's going to go to someone in the deep if they don't hit aerial, you know. To a certain degree, you're a pretty average spinner in T20 in terms of what you would require in a test match.
Well, actually, you can be these days. You can be quite an average spinner in a test match if it's in India or Pakistan.
That's very true.
Speaking generally to wrist spin and red ball cricket, have you seen any leg spinners at all in the international scene in Test cricket come through?
Well, only what's his name, Yadav, for India.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a lefty. I'm trying to think of other leggies around there. There was Ish Sodhi for a while. I mean, was he world class? Don't know, but he was effective enough.
Yeah. Well, Axar Patel comes into the attack now, known for his unique release point, which puts batsmen under pressure generally on this pitch. And Buttler just reverse sweeps that for a single.
See, I see Axar Patel as exactly that. He's just a dart bowler.
He's just putting it there, isn't he?
Yeah, and in India it really works. I mean, he doesn't really bowl anywhere else in the world, does he, in a test match? I mean, because he doesn't really put any action on the ball. It doesn't really turn.
Got a really unique release point, and then obviously on a slower surface, the batsman just kind of lunge at it without washing the ball as closely as it should. And Duckett just sweeps that away. He's really strong square of the wicket, Ben Duckett.
I don't see anything unique about his release point. What's unique about it?
It's a little bit wide.
Well,
wide
there's a lot of other.
I feel like
slingers.
does he let it go
later
maybe,
or early? We only ever see him from behind, so I wouldn't know that.
It out. It does feel like he holds the ball back in some way.
Buttler nudges that away for, and they're looking for 2, and they will comfortably get back.
No, they didn't make it in the end.
Make it. They just
They didn't.
No. Duckett got turned back.
That's the second time that's happened now, isn't it? He's been turned back.
Yeah.
But
Buttler has said no, thank you.
But yeah, Sanjay Sampson really deploying the spinners now, sinking their teeth into him. And here we go. As Duckett manages to get a single this time.
Yes, he's going back to the leg side to almost everything, isn't he now, Duckett, and trying to make room for himself.
He is.
Yeah, and he's forced that one to long on. It's we now got we've had all four spinners, have we not? Oh, hello, what's happened there?
That's just reverse swept inside edge of sorts, and that's raced away to the boundary. England will take what they can get.
Absolutely. That's 4 runs.
It's Nissan Shi.
4 buys even.
I think it was buys, yeah.
Well, he went for the reverse sweep and it inside edged almost. Did it touch the bat?
No,
didn't touch the bat.
Umpire's given it as buys, and somehow missed the leg stump as well.
The off stump there.
Off stump.
Laxman has been doing so well to build as he comes into bowl again. Tucked away for a quick single. England are 74 for 1.
So that's just over 9 and over, isn't it? 9.2. Are we still open for the GPL? Have we gone 44 minutes yet?
Yeah, you've got 10 minutes left. It's 47 quid.
GorillaCricket.com/competitions. Get on it and help Gorilla Cricket survive. And going back to the Bears' point about Patreon, if you can possibly spare money and haven't done, or you'd like to up your contribution, go to patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket. Patreon.com, Patreon.com. /Gorilla Cricket.
We like all sources of income, but that is the most secure, basically, because we can plan ahead on that because we know what we're getting every month, sort of thing. So that's why we like our patrons.
Chakravarti comes back and that's nudged away. England have been struggling against India's spinners, particularly Chakravarti, as he's come back, redefined himself almost, and bringing in new elements of mystery and guile.
Well, yeah, because didn't he have a fantastic IPL about 3 years ago, and everyone thought he was going to kick on, and then he had a couple of poor IPLs.
Kind of faded into the background, didn't he? Well, he's back now, and he's been only gone for 4 runs in his 1.2 overs as he comes in. Duckett attempting scoop without much success. That's a wide ball.
That's unfortunate, isn't it? Guy misses a sweep.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, that shouldn't really be a wide, should it?
Not really.
Yeah. But England will take whatever they can get. And talking about that 189 average score, I'm thinking break off.
Yeah. And Duckett just that goes away for 4 as he lofts that over the infield. Strategically placed there from Duckett.
Yeah, really good placement.
He didn't quite middle that, but he placed it perfectly.
He went very straight, didn't he?
Yeah, straight over the bowler's head.
Well, it's a 4 for a boundary where there's a rope. The bowler don't like it, but it had to go.
Yeah, the 189. I feel like on that basis, that England probably need about 210, don't they?
Well, yeah, Chakravarti comes in and Duckett going square of the wicket this time, and that again over the Indian fielders. This time they're just picking up 2. But yeah, it's this is a must-win game for England to keep the series alive. They're obviously losing 2-0 at the moment, but yeah, we can see now in this game they're clearly taking India on. They're not kind of sitting back, especially Duckett. Yeah. So if him and Buttler can build this partnership, we could have a formidable lead as Chakravarti comes in. And that's just pushed away to the leg side for a single.
Yeah, Duckett just one short of a 50. It's been a really good knock. It's pretty much he's going at a strike rate of almost 200, isn't he? 49 of 25.
He's really announced himself today, launching with confidence into the Indian bowlers.
Well, he's had such a good last year and a half, 2 years, really, hasn't he?
Certainly. Chakravarti comes in and it's a slightly shorter ball, deceiving Jos Buttler in flight as he charges down the wicket.
Yeah, that was clever bowling, wasn't it? He saw him coming.
He saw him coming and dragged the length back.
Yeah,
it's a hallmark of a fantastic spinner.
I'm not sure whether Buttler really knew what he was doing in the end there. Got sort of outside edge, didn't he?
He was just waiting with his gloves ready.
Yeah.
And let's see how he's going to follow that up now. Chakravarti comes in. And Buttler goes for the reverse. And they're appealing.
Well, they're appealing for a catch. And I think that's out. Sampson's taken that. I'm pretty sure that's out because Buttler's threw his head up before. Just gave it away, I think.
I think he's going for elbow. Oh no, and he's saying glove, isn't he? Yeah.
No, he reckons either gloved it or got the face of the bat on it. I think that's gone because.
Well, they're going for a review. Let's see if there's anything that Ultra Edge picks up. But from the body language, as Hendo was saying, it really does seem like this is going India's way.
Yeah, Buttler said it was almost like it was eyes to the heaven from Buttler before he kind of realised he was going to be given not out, and then thought, "Oh, I better stay here."
Here we go. It's a seam-up delivery from Chakravarti, so we can see on the replay.
Oh yes.
And it just seems like there's a slight deviation in ball trajectory as it passes Butler's gloves. It's not looking good for England.
No, that's bottom of the glove in my opinion. We haven't seen.
Looks like
that's without Ultra Edge, but just as you look at it, it appears to me to be bottom edge.
Oh God, yeah.
Surely that's out. Yes.
Or Sandra Sampson.
He's punched that into his hand.
Like he's in the ring. Well, I mean, we're going to see the decision on the big screen shortly.
That's a big blow. England, just as England were going along quite nicely to get Buttler out with a wicket like that. A good catch, you've got to say. I mean, it helps that it's come off the glove. It slows it down a little bit, but that's gone. I'm afraid Butler's hanging around, but he must know. Well, he did know.
As a bad batsman,
they must be able to get this up quicker, can't they? For fuck's sake, it's so slow. I think it's an advertising thing again.
Well, it'd be kind of handy if it doesn't work for the time being.
Well, yeah, that would be. Sorry, you can't give it. It's blown up. It's happened before in Test matches.
Has happened.
Well, they're taking some time, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to have to.
Yeah, but it's going to come up pretty quick that he's bloody hit it. That's what I mean. It's a total waste of time. I mean, you can see from the replay it's come off the glove. And so the third umpire must go, well, it looks like it's hit the glove. Can we have the fucking snicko? And everyone's pissing around.
Yep. Surely it's going to be out. There's that sad pair, that sad English couple. We saw them earlier looking miserable. They were looking miserable again there. Here we go, Ultra Edge. It might even be bat.
Conclusive. A big spike on the bat, actually, not the glove as we initially thought. But a spike is a spike, and Buttler will be well on his way.
That's right. It did look remarkably like the glove, but that's weird. It's definitely out though. 83 for 2, 9 overs bowled. You going to do the wicket, Bear?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just looking at a message and trying to figure out what the hell it meant. It's one of these.
The crowd says. The crowd says. The crowd says you're out.
Yeah.
So the danger man Joss Buttler departs for 24 off 22. England, with much batting to come, will be looking to build on the momentum that he and Duckett have created in this partnership.
Well, exactly. Now you've got the power hitters can come in, and it's over 9. You know, okay, you want Buttler there, but Duckett's doing okay. But Brooke can hit it hard, as can Livingston, as can Smith.
Yeah, but none of them have done it so far in this series.
Bryden Coss, even lower down the order, can certainly.
Bryden Coss was brilliant on Saturday. I mean, without the run out, he hadn't been run out by Jofra Archer, he would have, he might have got the runs that England that needed to win that match in the end, but sadly not. Brooke has
Here we go. Harry Brooke comes in to the crease.
We shall have a little jingle for Mr. Brooke.
Form.
He sounds like. Where is he? There he is.
Harry Brooke is the future. Unless he bats away Simon Carrigan bowls.
So will this be a turning point for India as Akshar Patel comes in? Oh, we're just defended tensively. We'll pick up a single there. And Brooke is on strike. But yeah, with the series lead, India obviously coming into this game with a sense of freedom. Overs. Oh, and Ben Duckett gets to 50.
Yep, and he gets a jingle for that. Goes like this.
Half a 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 century.
It's the correct jingle. And Ben Duckett, 50 off 26 balls. He has been the anchor in this innings for England so far. What a tremendous knock. So strong, square of the wicket as he always is. Coming out, trusting his instinct this time. And it's certainly paid off.
Yeah, England just need to kick on here, don't they? I went over 211 and a half, which was a bit ambitious, but you know.
There we go. Brooke defends there, solid technique.
Yeah, well, Brooks been done a couple of times, hasn't he, by Chakravarti in this.
By Chakravarti, just that delivery coming in off the team. And we go, Akshar Patel, slightly slower than Chakravarti, but still, Brook will be hoping he can get his eye in before having to face Varun in the next over. Just a review of the wicket here. It was a seam-up delivery from Chakravarti, more pace on that one, and Butler's attempt to reverse sweep.
I mean, that was just an up-and-down ball, really, wasn't it? He just missed it.
Well, not yet. Unfortunately, he didn't quite miss it.
Well, yeah.
Stuck and hacks that over to the leg side for a single.
We drew a change at the end of the over. David B.
What, David B. Brook?
Absolutely.
My
coming on
word.
to give you a little ball by ball. Jason's going to join him in the social chat, taking over for me, and Indo's going to be back.
Okay.
Here we go. They just nudged away from for a single. Harry Brook looking in nice touch in the first phase of his innings.
I don't know why we have to keep seeing this dismissal of Josh Buttler. I mean, it was a good catch. I mean, that's what you say.
Well, Sanju was the only one who was really convinced, wasn't he, I think?
Here we go. Ducky charges down the ground, and he's found the fielder, and the last ball of the 10th over. England lose another wicket. This time, the crucial wicket of Ben Duckett, who's been playing so well.
He didn't quite get there, did he? His bottom hand came off. He was obviously
Head in hands for the England fans around the world.
He was just a little bit done in the flight. Bottom hand came up, realised he was having to reach for it, and consequently didn't get enough on it. And I have to say,
charged down the ground, almost premeditated, you'd feel, and an easy catch for Abhishek Sharma on the boundary. Well, that's the fine innings. Comes to an end. England would have hoped he could have stayed for a bit longer, and we're due for a change.
We are due for a change.
Yeah, I just wanted to say though, I mean, England. This is the thing with England. You know, they were doing well, and now within the space of an over and a half, they've lost two absolutely vital wickets.
Wow.
One, you know, and that wasn't a great shot because the long on had been put wider.
Yeah.
And you know, as he hit it, I thought, oh, he's got a chance there for that to go for four because. You know, you would expect the long on to be straighter than that, but they've obviously moved him round. So why has he tried it?
He's been exceptional in his innings so far.
Yeah, but I think that was a daft shot. But there you go.
Hey, that's the way it goes. It's T20. Anyway, we're out. We're going to play a jingle for a wicket to get us through.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Greetings. Hello, yes, greetings, Ninja and Jason. A few gasps of astonishment my name popped up there because I haven't been on for a while, Ninja. I haven't been on since the Rahul Dravid era. That's how long it's been.
Whereabouts are you?
In the heart of Oxfordshire today.
Okay.
Heart of Oxfordshire, yeah. And Ninja, I've been wanting to ask you this. I mean, Gautam Gambhir, it's not been great for India since he took over. This is the first real momentum in any series, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to mince my words. He's a toxic apple, and he's always been that. And he has no coaching credentials whatsoever. He's in the coaching position because he happens to be a member of India's ruling party.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Well, that's depressing to hear. It's so black and white like that. Yeah. It does. His management skills leave a lot to be desired. That's for sure.
that's putting it very mildly.
Could you put it more bluntly?
I don't think so. You know, there's Paddy Upton, who used to be the mental conditioning coach of the Indian cricket team, once told me about Gambhir that he'd never met anyone in a cricket team who was more negative, even about his own batting. So. He was negative about everything in life. So, I mean, you get a man like that to become a coach.
It's hard to instill a sense of belief, isn't it? Sorry, Jason.
I should say, just nickname him the Black Hole then, because all light does not shine out of it.
Exactly. Well, except out of a certain part of his anatomy.
And the revelations about these new rules for Indian touring sides that Gambhir's introduced, curfews and so on. I'll have to ask you about that in a moment. But in the meantime, It's a new over. England 87 for 3 at the halfway stage. We've just had drinks. And Abhishek's coming on to bowl this slow left
Never seen him bowl before.
No, he's got 15 matches in his T20 career, averaging 36 with the ball. But this is the first time I've seen him in international cricket. He bowls. That's full, and Brook makes room and plays that down to extra cover for a single. Yeah, from now on, you're unable to take your stylist or your PR executive on tour with you. That seems a bit restrictive.
I think he had to do certain things to take the heat off himself, and he's chosen some rather bizarre things to bring out in there. I'm not sure how many players actually had their PR executives with them in the team.
Well, certainly Sharma did. Abhishek bowls, and it's Livingston, the new batsman, who's been very short of runs in this series. Got out in a very strange way on Saturday's match, didn't he? A shot that would normally have found the boundary. He was caught at deep square. He comes down the wicket, plays this one straight too long off and jogs through for a single. I think Sharma had his PR man, Ninja, with him during the Test series to explain his non-appearance.
I don't know, but he certainly needed a PR man.
And then what was the other thing that amused me? Everyone to travel in the same vehicle. Piles, and that's played up to long on, and then Brook jogs through for a single.
That's been going on for a long time, and I actually don't think that's got anything to do with Virat or a Rohit Sharma, because they have always been traveling in the bus. Right. I think it's more some of the younger guys who seem to think they have arrived.
It does kind of smack of gentlemen versus players to a little bit.
Down the wicket comes Livingston, but plays that one straight down to long on for a single. So just singles off that over, and it's quite tidy by Abhishek. What did you make of that, Ninja? England 91 for 3.
Yeah, it's flat. No, he does vary his width on the crease when he bowls. Some of them are very close to the stumps indeed. Some of them are slightly wider. So yeah, it's a good promising start from him. Leo agrees with you, by the way, about Gautam. He says it's the worst possible choice they could have made. His press conferences alone should have led them to that realisation.
Absolutely, it's been dire, his comments before and after matches. But he's leading the team to a 2-0 victory at the moment in this series. That's the arm ball from Axar Patel, as most of them are, and it's chopped away to a point that there's no run. We're looking at Jamie Smith in the dugout, who's the next man in, and Overton after that. That's down the wicket comes Livingston. This is big, and surely this is going to go the whole distance. Has to, way into the crowd, way into behind the sight screen for a maximum 6.
That was gigantic. It's so high.
I mean, it was almost up the bottom of the bat.
Yeah, it is set up for Livingston at this situation. He will be given license to go for it. This one, though, he chooses his balls carefully to hit. This one he just strokes down to long on for a single. But it's been a question in this series so far, Buttler versus the rest until this match. But we've seen a good innings from Duckett today in India. His placement was so good, wasn't it?
The placement, he was getting everything in the middle of the bat. He was playing very well until he got out. I think Akshar held it back just a little bit, so he had to reach for it.
Brooks looking for 2 as he plays this out to mid-wicket. There's no one at mid-wicket. Fielder has to come in. That's Tilak Varma, the start of the last game. He does the fielding there, and Brook comes back for 2. He's on 6, Livingston 9, so we had 2 wickets in a row. Buttler correctly called by Hendo, reviewed, all under edge, and then quickly followed by Duckett holding out in the deep. So not a lot of time to rebuild. Brook goes down on one knee and swats this one out to deep square for a single, and that's I missed the 100. It's now 101 for 3 England, on course for one of these big scores at Rajkot Stadium.
Yeah, it's going to be a 215, 220 kind of score, it looks like.
England need, all the experts are saying over 200. That one beats Livingston, who really fumbles around at that one outside the off stump. Has a good laugh back at Axar, who was the moral victor there. At the end of that over, England are 101 for 3.
Michelle Lay joins us, says, "Good day, legends. Just tuned into this match, 1:20 a.m. Sydney. I'm hyped for Travachandran tomorrow in Sri Lanka." Yes, well, obviously lots of people getting games in before the Champions Trophy. Leah says about Gambia, he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer if it would be for speed mumbling. And Dorothy says ETH would be up there too. Don't know who ETH is. Could you expand?
It's Bishnoi back into the attack. His 1 over went for 13 before, which is why he was replaced by Abhishek. Just given the 1 over 4, but Bishnoi's back in, and that's a single to Brook out into the leg side. A flat delivery from Bishnoi, and it was Upish from Brook, not completely in control of that, but there was no one at the wicket. Livingston, what will he make of Bishnoi? The run rate's 8.3. Bishnoi bowls that, tries to fire that one down the leg side, and that's well played by Livingston. He's looking much more confident today. Plays it off his legs, even gets a round of applause from Sky, the Indian captain. No,
yeah, lovely shot. More controlled than I think I've seen Livingston for a long time.
I mean, did well in the West Indies series, didn't he? In terms of his stature has improved, I think, since that disastrous World Cup campaign. He captained the team on a couple of occasions. This one he goes back and hits that very hard, but all along the ground down to deep mid wicket. Bit of a fumble out there on the outfield.
He mistimed that.
Yeah, he mistimed it, so they just get a single.
I tried to overhit that, I think.
Just seeing some highlights of the Duckett innings. It's very inventive, with all the usual shots around the wicket you'd expect from Duckett, reverse sweeps, scoots. But Bishnoi fires that one down the legs. It must be a wide. Has to be. Why Bishnoi's looking at the umpire like that. That's just straightforward. Wide down the leg side.
Wide.
Bishnoi played that supporting role with the bat so successfully in the last T20. This one's full and it's beaten. It's gone straight through. And that's cleaned him up. Middle stump. He went to try and lap it over mid wicket, and it's full. And it's cleaned him up. A ninja.
A cross batted swat over mid wicket. I don't think works for Harry Brook, honestly.
No.
But he's much better off playing proper cricketing shots.
I think he got a tiny little bottom corner of the bat on that, and I just dragged it on. Yep.
Does Harry Brook have an India problem? That's the question.
I think Bishnoi is very amused with that wicket. He certainly wasn't expecting.
That's never going to hit until he gets the bottom corner of the bat on that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Right, so let me see if I can find...
Brook is out for 8, and that's Jamie Smith, who is going to be taking the gloves today. He's carded to come in next, and curious reason for that is because he's got a calf strain, so he didn't think he could field, but he's going to be okay to keep. Seems a bit curious.
He was always carded. Oh, well, actually, you've got 3 keepers in the side. You've got Salt and Smith and Buttler. So
I think Salt would have been the first choice to keep in this particular series, Jason.
Well, he's been keeping in the last 2 matches, I think.
Yeah. But if he's not scoring any runs, why is he in the side?
He's in the side so Buttler can come in at number 3.
What, the McCullum plan? Lose the wicket earlier, then get Buttler in.
Here's Bishnoi, and that beats Smith. He was on sort of in reverse mode as he tried to give himself room to play that, and the ball followed him, and it was a decent delivery. Samson slightly fumbled it behind the stumps. And India, what do you think of the makeup of this Indian team? Are you happy with the lineup?
Actually, I'm sorry, but that was a catch. Yeah, it was a drop.
I was going to ask you about Samson, whether he's the best keeper that India could be fielding. That's beaten Smith as well. It bats him on the pad. There's no appeal to the missing leg, but this is a decent comeback over from Bishnoi. It's 108 for 4 of 13.
ETH stands for Eric Ten Hag. Thanks, Dara, for clarifying. And he says he also thinks 240 is on once Darren Stevens comes in. Yes, the scourge of Surrey would have been perfect to plonk the ball into all the places that you don't expect it to go.
Darren Stevens?
Yes, the Dazzler. Clifford Bradford says England have got a lot of bowlers in this team. You'd think with Livingston that they would be one light. They could go one light. Yeah, well,
this is going to be interesting now. Chakrabarti to Livingston. It doesn't look like he can play him, but comes into bowl, and Livingston, with some circumspection, plays that to mid-wicket for a single.
I do wonder if he's changed his plan to Chakrabarti, that he's just going to play for singles and not try to smack him out of the park.
Yeah.
Moves on to 15.
And make his runs off other bowlers.
Chakrabarti, he's looked the part, hasn't he, in India?
He's looked really good, and all the wickets he's got have been from balls coming in.
This one, Smith is not going to hang around. He's played that one straight and long. It's gone over long on. It's a lovely shot for 6.
You were asking about Samson. I think Samson deserves his place. He's been batting really well, except for the last 2 matches, for a length of time, and he certainly deserves to be there.
This one is short from Chakrabarti and another. It's a great catch. Smith has holed out deep mid-wicket. It's a lovely catch taken there by who's that? An India.
I couldn't see him.
It was a decent catch running in the outfield, and it's the end of Smith. Chakrabarti getting his wicket was short, and Smith hasn't wasted any time. It was only the 4th ball he's faced, but it was
it's Jurel.
Jurel taking the catch. Jurel, another of the keeping options in the side. He takes a diving catch. Really nice catch, and Smith is out for 6. So another mini collapse here. England 115 for 5. Yet again, the middle order letting England down here.
Yeah, 215 is looking unlikely now.
Silly little boy, what on earth were you playing at? Oh!
Yeah, that makes 180 look hard, let alone 200, I think.
I think the England middle order have found it very hard to up the pace against particularly the Indian spinners in India.
Yeah, I think the top order has been, when they're in, they've been really able to get hold of the spinners. Butler, Duckett, but lower down the order, they're having real trouble with.
Another one who's having problems is Overton. He's in now, quite high in the order at 7, some would say, against this particular attack. Chakrabarti's got him in his sights. He comes into bowl to him, and first ball, bald leg stump. The end of Overton. I said he was too high in the order. Should he be in the team? He's out for naught. First ball.
Totally clueless.
What are you doing?
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
He puts his front foot across the off stump, outside the off stump, leaves his middle and leg open and gets bowled. I mean, seriously.
And the ball doesn't do anything. It just slides straight on. It's just a slider. It's angled in, yes, but I mean, you just line it up. Nobody gets through that.
I mean, it's a nice idea to have Overton at 7 because it means they've got the more bowlers, but he just hasn't shown that he's good enough with the bat against this quality of bowling in these conditions.
Yeah, and didn't McCullum say yesterday that I think Bear was mentioning it, that he doesn't mind if the bowlers give runs, but if nobody's scoring the runs, I mean, you've got to be a bit careful about giving away the runs.
Yeah, it's all very well if you're scoring 220 and defending that.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're only scoring 160, then and you with your vaunted batting lineup, that's not good enough.
Well, here's one man who has scored runs on his first appearance, and that's Bryden Cass. Before he was sold down, he was sold down the river by Jofra Archer, wasn't he? In the last match, got run out, and he was going well in the 30s. And England will be looking for a decent cameo from him now, because there's still 6.2 overs to go, and England falling behind.
This pair can do real damage if they just bat for a little while.
That's a big if there.
Don't see this field very often for
short leg
T20.
and a leg flip. Here's Chakrabarty bowls, and that's a defensive shot from Cast. There's no mid-off, so we're going to take a single. And great one ball left, but certainly been a fantastic over this from Chakrabarty. First,
I'm not sure what Sky was appealing for, though.
Yeah, first he got Smith with the cricket one, and then Overton. I mean, he won't be happy to look at that one again. That was straight on.
I think they were trying to get him a hat trick, so that's why they had that.
Yes, they had three catches, and then nobody apart from people on the boundary.
Livingston in the unfamiliar situation of seeing the carnage at the other end. He plays this one last ball out into the offside. So super over there from Baron Chakrabarty. He's 3 for 20 off 3 overs with 14 overs gone. England 116 now for 6.
Farong says there's a Hendo rant incoming. We haven't heard it yet, but I'm sure he's brewing one up in the green room. And Sutahu says this is extreme levels of collapsing, even for England. And Ashley Partridge says England 180. Soph in Kuala Lumpur says Bazball doesn't work without Stokes to hold it all together? Question mark.
Insert your own name there.
Can't play forever.
Perhaps.
Right.
Well, you won't have long to wait for a Hendo rant. He's on after this over. And it's just, I'm sure he's girding his loins now. That's a single for Cass down to long on. And they take the single. So Livingston, what can he do against Bishnoi?
I mean, to some extent, England have got to manage the overs and get through to 20. The way they're playing
absolutely.
at the moment.
Use up the overs. It's like a club side, isn't it? Club 30-11. Use up all the overs. They've only used 14.1, and they're 6 down now. Bishnoi looking for the 7th. Livingston want to keep his wicket intact. He'll also want to go big. What's he going to do? That's going to be LBW. No, the umpire's
just outside off stump, I think.
Just hit him outside.
He was outside off stump.
Outside off, but that was a pretty lame shot from Livingston. That was one of the ones where you often see him giving his wicket away.
And you know that Bishnoi has only one delivery, which is the googly, right?
Yeah, probably a big supply of googly.
You can't possibly miss the line.
This one is a little bit ungainly from Livingston. There's no runs. One fielder on the leg side has found him. Looking again at the replay, yes, impact outside the off stump. So wishful thinking. And Bishnoi.
One thing Bishnoi does do is he gets the ball to skid on a bit occasionally and it just deceives the batsman.
Livingston has made a good contact with this one, though. Surely that's going to go the distance it does. It goes over the perimeter boards, over a mid-wicket, and it's 6. Not resting on Livingston's shoulders now. If England are going to get the score that they need to here at Rajkot, and that was a decent shot from Livingston. The question is, can he stay in for the next 5 overs? It's 2 balls left before the last 5 overs. That nearly Livingston's ended up on his knees there. He's managed somehow to get a bat on it, otherwise he would have been bang in front of the stumps.
But
waiting for the head. Yeah.
No, please.
Sorry, Ninja.
No, I was saying really the best way to play is how the Indian top order and Duckett was playing. I mean, goes so far back into the crease and play. You're standing there. You're dead meat.
And there's not going to be a run off the last ball. Livingston would like to have had the strike, but it's a dot ball. Ending that over 15 overs. We're due for a change now. Livingston on 21. Cast on 2. Those of you on social media have been waiting for the Hendo rant after this middle order collapse. Your wish is coming true now, because next time
I think Bear's you on, actually.
Oh,
yeah, it's
Bear.
the
Well,
Bear. Hello, David. How are you?
It's
good,
me,
thanks.
Dave. It's me. It's not Hendo.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I read the rotor wrong from the. Yeah, well, can you do a rant then, Bet?
Well, I can do Hendo's rant. He's losing his shit in there, you know. Unsurprisingly, saying they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Just for your information, England are 123 for 6 after 15 overs. In the last game, they were 121 for 6.
Where have you gone, Dave? You're on still. You do know that.
Deja vu. Yeah, it's still there.
Wait, I got the wrong rotor in front of me.
Okay.
We've all been there.
Yes, you're on. You're still on. It's nice to see you, Dave. How have you been? It's been a while.
Well, I'm good, thanks, Bear. I'm still recovering from the bombshell that you dropped earlier.
Yeah, Gorilla Towers is no more. But we have overstayed our welcome. We were only supposed to be here for a year, Dave. We've been here 8. So we've done pretty well. Varun is in. And, oh dear, terrible bit of fielding at backward point. Is that going to get 4? No, it's not going to get 4, but it will get 2. Terrible. Whoever was at point just let it straight through them. It was Bishnoi. And they get 2 runs. Which, yeah, that'll be happy for Livingston. No, it's Cast, I think, who actually played that shot. Yeah, so it's time to go. Got an offer on Saturday. Yeah, we'll be here until the end of the ICC Champions Trophy. And then it's quite a decent time to actually move because it's the bloody IPL, isn't it? That's pulled. That was horrible. I mean, that was just basically a half-tracker kind of medium-pace delivery from Varun, but bowled in the action of a leg spinner into the middle of the pitch, and they get a single out to deep mid-wicket.
We think Livingston will see this through to the 20th over.
Well, if he does, there's still a chance of England getting about 180. I went over 211.5 before we lost the second wicket, and then it's all gone Pete Tong since then, so that was a waste of time. That's picked up. Has that picked up long enough? Nah, it's not. That is out. Aaron. It's been picked up. I can imagine Hendo is now re-spitting the dummy. That was Bryden Cast, though, so Livingston does remain. 3 of 4. He's trying to pick it up over square leg for 6. England have really fucked this up in a really, really shitty way.
The number of the day. Billy hops and kicks. The number of the day is 6.
Wow.
That's 4th wicket for Varun Chakravarti. England have really struggled against this spin attack. They just don't know how to get it away.
It's the wickets column that's the problem again. This middle order is just not.
Well, at 83 for 1 before the second wicket fell, you'd have thought England were on for 200, wouldn't you? I mean, and that was in the 9th over. So they had 11 overs and 83 on the board, 9 wickets in hand. You'd have easily thought exactly that. We've seen this sort of shit happen in the IPL. Occasionally it does. Happens too often to England. It's a non-series really, but you never like losing them. It's T20. We haven't won a toss yet. I do think England will feel better chasing. There is only. I mean, the thing is, you've got to keep going now, haven't you? I mean, there's literally 4 overs and 2 balls left. Okay, you've only got 3 wickets left, but to get any sort of score, you need at least another. Well, they need another 30. They need to get to 160, 165 minimum, which is what they got the other night to give themselves some sort of hope. Which, you know, with 4 overs and 2 balls left, should be doable, really, with Livingston still at the crease.
Where's the quality of the bowling? That's the problem, isn't it?
Well, it is. Are they going to go back to pace, or are they just going to keep bowling spin? That was just defended and missed by Archer.
Well, they've used 7 bowlers, India, today, so they've got a big choice of who they. This is why you need Livingston to take control and take the majority of the strike.
Well, you do, but he's still got to score runs. There's an appeal for caught behind.
That's another one.
And there's another one.
Yeah.
Has he been bowled? Yeah. Has he been bowled? Oh, he must have been bowled. I didn't see the bails go off.
That went through the garden gate.
It did go through the garden gate. It must have been a googly. And out England are in trouble. And as Hendo says, Adil Rashid, who is probably should be in at 7 or 8. It does seem to be a googly. Comes back. Oh yeah, just knocked back the off stump. Bowled
He's
through
bowled
the gate.
well.
That's bowled well. That is a good delivery, to be fair. And Archer is a number 9 or whatever he is.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what? Because of this, we're getting this.
Fuck off! Just fuck off!
England could do with West Indies 9-10.
Well, yes.
OT and Warwick and Roach, I mean, they were doing much better than England.
Well, didn't they? They top scored in 2 innings out of 4, didn't they?
Yes, that's correct. It's at 9, 10 and 11. That's ridiculous, isn't it?
It is. Did they win that second test?
They did.
Yes, they did. By 100 and something runs.
Yeah, I didn't see any of it, but that wicket must have been atrocious then, wasn't it? 20 wickets on the first day?
It was turning a lot. I mean, they were bowling well, and the same for both sides, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's fun to watch as a neutral, but it's not really good for the game in the sense that... how long did the game last? Did it get to lunch on day 3, or was it over by then?
No. It's lunch.
You know, I mean, that's a bit...
But...
I enjoy watching cricket like that,
I think there is... So do I. And the other thing is, I mean, it makes a change from the 5-day roads that we used to have in Pakistan.
Well, Livingston is still there.
Skill against spin.
He's just pummeled the first ball of Bishnoi's next over, who has taken some tap. That was gone over cow corner for one of these. And you got to think that basically Livingston's kind of got to do this on his own.
Absolutely, yeah.
12. If he gets 12 and over, you can hit 2 sixes and over and a single, so he'll have to get 13 or 11.
Don't steal them, right, yeah.
Well, 11's 44 and over, which would get them to 178, 177, and 13 would get them another 42, which would be 175.
Livingston's not done this really, has he? In these conditions, so let's see whether he can survive the 20. I don't think he will.
Didn't he get a ton in the IPL? That one's gone all the way as well. Well, there's 2 sixes in this over.
That's good. Yeah,
that is good. That's one of these.
He's targeted Bishnoi. Bishnoi's the one who's going to go, and Livingston has hit 2 big sixes in a row. How many are you going to get off this over?
Well, if you can hit number 4, that'd be quite handy, wouldn't it?
Who was it who said, sorry, going back to that West Indies, who was it who said from Gorilla that Pakistan were burnt on their own Bunsen?
That was
someone.
me,
Oh, good one. I love that.
Yeah.
Very well.
Well,
said.
that is the problem with those kinds of wickets, isn't it? I mean, didn't West Indies bat first? Got a poor score, but you know, any sort of pressure on a wicket like that, if wickets start to fall and the ball's doing all sorts, it does become a bit of a lottery. That's my point. I think too much of I don't mind it when a pitch does that, maybe on back end of day 2 or beginning of day 3, but then let it become a lottery then and let the pitch break up. But if it does it from ball 1, I mean, it's fun to watch, as I said, but it's not really great for international cricket, I don't think. That one is again, he tries to slap that, but this time Bishnoi drags back his length and he manages to pull it square, and he decides not to take the run. Well, that's kind of sensible, having hit 2 sixes off the first balls. Yeah. 2 balls.
Yeah, Livingston hasn't hit a ton in the IPL, but he has had 94. He got a ton in the Blast and 92 not out in the 100.
So if he does get going, he can, you know.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Now, well, that's pulled and that's gone 6. That's 6 more. That's a half tracker. That's a shite ball from Bishnoi.
It is.
It's just a drag down, and it really got what it deserved, which was 6 runs.
So 3 sixes off 4 balls.
Yeah.
Well, it makes it more interesting, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, if England can get 170, 180, they've got a score on the board, right? At least, I mean, the other day, we thought 166 wasn't being enough. And actually, if fucking Adil Rashid had caught that ball, it probably would have been enough. They'd have probably needed about 15 or 16 off the last over. No, you know, Turnout was the last man in.
Yeah, 45 off his 3.4 overs, Bishnoi.
Yeah, and the other thing was that, of course, that Jofra went for 60 in 4 overs the other night, which is quite a rare occurrence, to be fair. That was pushed out off the back foot out to the man on the cover boundary, and there's no run. And I can guarantee you I can do better than none for 60 or 4 overs at age 53, being quite portly, I reckon.
Lockie 6 says, will there be a farewell broadcast from the roof of Gorilla Towers?
Oh, wow, we have got a flat roof, and it will be May, but I don't think it'll happen. We've got no access to it. Adil Rashid is the man in, and he just decides to defend the last ball of the over into the leg side, and there's no run. So 19 off that over, good over for England, 3 overs left.
Well, Liam said at the Ashley said at the beginning of that over that Liam was going to get 50. and he could well be right. Where are we going? Says Ashford. We don't know yet. The Bear is going to be hunting for a news.
As I have been trying to tell everybody, basically, Patreon is what we use to know what we've got coming in every month and know what we can afford to hire. And at the moment, we've got enough coming in, but we would like more to give ourselves an opportunity. I mean, basically, we can get a small space. It's not going to be particularly comfy compared to what we're used to, but we can get somewhere. The more we can get off patrons and know what we've got in terms of potential, the better.
Well,
so please do Patreon. I mean, please don't stop giving us super chats. We love them and anything else that you do out there. But Patreon is the big one that basically gives us knowledge of where we can be. And so please do become patrons. That's the way forward. You get lots of extras as a patron anyway. You get access to the archive. You get first dibs on podcasts. You get a mug if you go so far. There's lots of things you get. Access to our Discord server. You can have a chat with other storied gorillas on there as well. So, you know, there's lots of things that you get for being a Patreon. It's as well as our undying gratitude. So that's short and it's wide, and it's not going to be wide. Oh, it is wide. Didn't think so. I wonder whether it's worth going back to pace at this point with Hardick.
Yeah,
I didn't think that was a wide. Are they allowed to? They're not allowed to review extras, are they? In international cricket,
No.
It's only in the IPL.
Yeah. Well, they want to stretch the IPL as far as they can. Let's face it. I think that was a wide, actually.
I did. Yeah, let's have a look. I thought it was quite. Oh no, actually. Well, he kind of banged it into the deck. It started out wide and then came back, didn't it? It was off the off spinner. That's been hit. Oh, has he got enough on that? No. Livingston goes 43 off 23. That's a shame. He batted well, to be fair. Would have been nice for him to go on, but I mean, he are at the back end, 17 overs, 147. England only got one wicket left. Probably need another 15, 20 runs to even think about a game here. But they aren't, and we have to say goodbye to Liam Livingstone.
I won't look back, 'cause by the time that I do, you'll be gone.
Well, Hardik Pandya did get his man, so what bollocks was I talking, hey? But there you go.
You went for big bucks this you went for big bucks in the IPL this year, Livingston.
Well, he is a good hitter, isn't he? You know.
His job was to see it through. 3 overs still left, and that's criminal, really, because
well, it's no good.
Well,
I don't know if you steer through 5 and over. That's not really. It's T20. To a certain degree. I'm with Andy on this. You just got to keep pumping away. The fact is that too many batsmen didn't pump and limply gave it away. The last man in is.
Do you know Mark Wood? Yes, he is an England bowler.
Who gets one up on his hip and they scoot through for a quick single.
So just a normal guy. Of course. Except for just one thing. What? He thinks that he's a horse.
Right. What?
It will be interesting to see if England can get Tilak out. Do you know he scored 318 runs in T20Is since he was last dismissed at a strike rate of 174? It's crazy.
That's cut well by Adil Rashid, who gets off a single out to the deep. 149.
His demolition of Jofra Archer was really entertaining to watch, wasn't it? He had a plan.
Yeah, I mean, I did feel a little bit sorry though for Jofra. I mean, he did get 3 or 4 boundaries that went top edges that he didn't really know anything about. And they would come kind of early than over. I mean, there were 2 or 3 sixes off Jofra, which are basically top edges over the keeper. They weren't planned shots at all. And that's the problem with pace. If it's pace on, and these boundaries, I mean, the boundaries behind the keeper is about 45, yards, meters or whatever. It's tiny, really.
I mean, do you think, just looking at the big picture, I'll come back in a moment.
Full and nicely jabbed out by Wood to the man in the deep. He got himself a single. And that brings up the England 150. Getting out of 15 runs off the last 2 overs and a bit.
I was going to ask you both whether you thought that Baz McCullum's sort of very laid-back style watching the game is sort of conducive to this format. Don't you need a bit more animated football manager approach?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
he has
you mean more
managed.
strategy.
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, he's been a man. I don't know what his management record is, but I mean, he's been a manager in T20 sides. He's been a manager of one of the sides in the IPL, hasn't he? He might have even won the IPL, didn't he? I don't know. I can't remember. And who really cares? That's a good shot from Adil Rashid. Cuts it, but there is a man out in the deep, and it'll just be the 1 run.
I mean, I look at what's happened with the women in the Ashes in Australia, and the difference in approach between England and Australia is so noticeable. And I do think a lot of that comes down to the attitude that, you know, all we've got to do is play our natural game and have confidence in ourselves without actually looking for the singles, the twos, and really thinking hard about what they're doing. And I think the same here.
Well, yeah, that's a slower ball from Hardick to end the over. It's a dot, and Wood just flays at it, and there is no run. There's 2 overs left.
I am pleased to be able to bring you exclusively here on Guerrilla Cricket, courtesy of WhatsApp, the Hendo rant for the hour, which says, utterly shit and brainless from England, McCullum out. There you go.
McCullum out. He's only had 3 games. I mean, come on. I can hear a high-pitched whine vaguely outside my headphones as I said that. Yeah, it's not been great. Fuck it. India are world T20 champions as well, and they're playing at home.
Billy Stevens is obviously listening to this on his headphones. He says, a person running my seminar just asked me why I suddenly look so angry and pissed off.
Tell him. Get him to play out guerrilla cricket. You're doing some sort of social subject. We're probably good for them. That's a 4, actually. Adil Rashid has edged it through first slip. That's probably unkind. He's attempted to guide it. It has actually come off the sticker. He's got it inside. They have kind of got a fly slip, short third man type guy who's probably in line with second or third slip. It went through first slip and it was 4. The next ball, Shami is in. He whips it into the leg side off his front pad, out into the deep. He'll get a single, which will bring Woody on strike. There are just 10 balls left now. 10 off the 10 balls will get them 166. It's what they got in the last test. Last T20. Did well. I mean, the last pitch was supposed to have an average score of 200.
Right.
And we did make a game of it. In fact, we were favourites at one point. And I could have hedged out on the Indians, and I didn't. Fuck it. Therefore, I lost my money. But
I mean, I would.
Oh, now that's going to be a no ball. That's basically a beamer.
5. Oh no.
It's going to be a beamer, and it'll be a free hit, and a warning presumably to the bowler. Yeah, that's a warning to the bowler. No ball and 1 by, so we got 2 off that. Who was facing up to that? Was that Woody or was that? Yeah, it was Woody. So
yes, it
was good. So they won through for the bye. So Adil Rashid will be on strike. It's probably the better one. I mind you, Woody can hit a long ball. Anyway, that's a short slow ball into the pitch, and Adil tries to swing himself off his feet and misses. So the free hit is of no use whatsoever.
Did somebody say he'd hit 3 first-class centuries?
7, I think.
7, is it? Oh, dear.
7 or 8. He was a pretty decent batsman, Adil Rashid.
We've got to go back a long way since he played a first-class match.
That's true, but I mean, if you've got the potential to do it, you've got the eye and the patience and all that sort of shit. You can't be that bad, can you? He's pulled that into the ground.
10 centuries and 37 50s.
Well, 37 50s. I mean, that says something, does it not? That one's pulled out to deep mid-wicket and there's a single. That's a lot of 50s. And 10 hundreds is not so bad. And he'd scored them by what? The time he was 28?
When was the last time he played a first-class match?
Well, it doesn't matter. The point is, Dave, he's clearly got batting pedigree. And therefore he can probably slog it better than your average slogger, even if he's only hitting 4s. I mean, the part of the reason that Joe Root doesn't seem to play, as far as I can see, that's cut well by Woody in front of square, out towards the man on the boundary. They should get back for 2. They do. it seems to me that the fact that Root doesn't hit many sixes, but fuck it, if he can score lots of fours and go along at 150, why not do it at number 3?
Yeah.
I mean, that seems
Absolutely.
to me, and he offers something with the bowling as well, especially, in subcontinental conditions.
Top scorer in the South African.
Well, I mean,
T20.
what I've got to be honest, I haven't given the slightest look to the SAT20, as that one is played out to cover and the deep, and it'll be a 1 run. So 162 for 9. So we're 1 over to go. And England will post some sort of score. I'm probably going to back them for what it's worth. What are the odds? I'll have a look. They were 4-1 at the start of the second innings the other day, were England. So what are his stats in SAT20?
Just he was the top run scorer, 289 runs, I think it is, in the tournament.
279, averaging 55.8, strike rate of 140. There you go. It's not bad. His strike rate on T20 internationals is 126. So that's perfectly acceptable.
It is. That's slapped back down a pitch by Woody.
You look at that scorecard there and you see the number of single-figure scores, and I think every game has been a six batters fail to get double figures.
Yeah, well, to be fair, that, there's, there are quite a lot of T20s where that happens. I mean, the point is that people are going for it. I mean, I think in order to get a big score in a T20, you need one guy to get 50, one guy to get high 80s up towards 100. Not many people get that many hundreds in T20s in a reasonable amount of balls. And if you do get 80 in a T20, it's usually in sort of 50 balls. So that's 130 runs. And if everyone else chips in 70, you're at 200, aren't you? And 200 is a good score in a T20. So that's not uncommon in a T20. The point is that our bigger batsmen aren't getting out. But today, we've had 2 50s or nearly 2 50s. That's played out towards cover, and they scoot through for a single. I mean, I'll have to look at the scorecard today. I mean, one more score probably would have got them up near 200. And when the point is, what do you think is a good score? I mean, it's you can say the average score is 220, but averaging 8 and over 20 overs against top class bowling is not so bad. I'm just trying to get the scorecard up. You can have a lot of disappointment here. You've got 51, a 24 and a 43. One more 50 out of someone, which obviously you would have liked out of someone in the top order. That's full toss. It's been outside half of the bat, goes off down towards third man. They go for one. They think about 2, but they're not going to take it. And you'd have had a score of 200. If they got 200, I don't know if we'd have been sitting here going, it's not enough. Maybe we do think it is. Maybe we think this India team. I mean, this is the point, isn't it? India are a very good side, and we're up against India and a very good Indian side, and we think, shit, we've got to hit 200. We nearly won the other day with a score exactly the same as this, with exactly the same side. There's no reason today why they aren't infallible. We need to. If we get 3 wickets early, then we're in the game.
I mean, Bear, you're doing a reasonable job of convincing yourself.
I know. That's why I bet.
Most people watching this would say England have been rubbish most of the time.
Well, they probably would have, but the tale of the tape will only be told at the end of the game. I mean, we were very much like that the other day. We thought this is a shit score. We've not done really enough, and then we were disappointed that we didn't win, and we fucking let it go. That's top hand. Forehand smash down towards long on from Adil Rashid. Gets himself
that was
a
a
single.
Seriously weird shot.
It was. Shoulder high and hit it straight down towards long on. I mean, that's the point, isn't it? At the end of the game, the result will tell. But England aren't out for 120. The extra 30, 40 runs adds. You got someone to bowl up. They've still got to go 8 and over for 20 overs.
Yeah, as a Ninja told us earlier, the lowest total successfully defended on this ground, 169.
But I thought the highest score beaten as well was like 190 or something. So
No, 201.
Okay, but it's only been 5 games here, apparently, hasn't there?
Yeah,
that's played
6,
out towards deep mid wicket, and there'll be a single. It's not a very big sample size.
No.
There looks like a little bit of moisture on on the wheels. Not a huge amount, though. It doesn't look.
No.
It's not one of those grounds where the dew is trailing up in a sort of stream behind the wheels. This is West India, Gujarat, isn't it? I don't know where Gujarat is. Is it southish or
northwest?
Northwest. So it probably will get much more dewy then, because it is still winter. It's January after all. Hardik is in, and that, well, it could have been a wide.
Yes, a wide.
It was.
I don't know if it was because he went all the way across.
Yes, it was. It's signal a wide, and they ran one.
So that's 2 runs. So 169 single to get them to 170. Interesting. 8.5 is a run rate. Not the worst.
I want them to get to 171 because.
Well, actually, it was off the cut strip.
+1 will bring me in the GPL.
Oh shit! Come on, get the wicket off the last ball then. Can't have anyone winning the IPL. I mean the GPL. Well, it's a full toss, and they do going to get single down to long on. They should come back for 2. They are. Adil Rashid is going to come back for 2, and they're probably going to make it. You know, they are. I don't know what the ball hit, or did it hit a player on the way back in? Because it seemed to die, or maybe it went to the bowler and he just dropped it into the ground. Decided not to give an overthrow. So 171 for 9. What? So you've gone 3-4-3. Of course you have.
I have.
It ends in a 3. Well, they could hit a 4 off the last ball and get 3-4-4 as well.
Yeah,
so.
that's exactly right. And they could not make it.
Yeah, and they could not make it. Exactly that. Well, I'd say England would have wanted 200 plus. They've ended up with 171 for 9. At one point, it looked like they might be all out for 140. I don't know. I put money on England to win. They are against the odds at 9-2, 10-3. I think it was. I got margin over 3-1. They made a good fist of it the other night, and hopefully Jofra won't go for 60. And if he doesn't, maybe there is a chance. If they can get some early wickets, put some pressure on the Indians, this game will. Still a lot to go. The other game, the game the other night, we thought England were going to get trounced, and it ended up being quite a thrilling match actually. So I'm hoping for again the same today. I'm sure Hendo is grumbling next door with great effect, and will no doubt tell me I'm talking absolute shite when I go in there, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think the thing you're avoiding, I think again the score is more than England deserved in some ways because they were so shit playing the spin in the middle order.
Yeah,
I think somebody's got to do something about teaching players to play spin, and it's not just England that's got that problem.
Oh no, there's plenty of teams that got that problem.
I mean, Chakrabarty's ended up with 5 for 24 off his 4 overs, and as well as he bowled, it's flattering, isn't it? I mean, he wasn't that good, and he just ran through Smith, Overton, Cars, Archer, the lower middle order, and another failure for Salt and Brooke up the order.
Yeah, exactly that.
Absolutely. I need a cup of tea. Let's have a break.
Yeah, we're going to have a break. Hold on. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to play a podcast. I'm going to play the latest Bear and Bishop, which we did recently. Okay. I'll see you soon. All right, bye.
Cheers, Bear. Thanks, Messers.
With 42 sailings running every day between Dover and France, sit back and relax on your next journey with DFDS. Enjoy award-winning world-class service from the World Travel Awards leading ferry operator, 13 years in a row. Daily sailings means lots of choice, and with 2 fast frequent routes to Calais and Dunkirk to choose from, we'll have you on your way in no time. DFDS. Now that's a breath of fresh air. Visit dfds.com to find out more.
When roads are slick and every turn feels like a test, come to Halfords. Our experts are ready to check and change your tyres at our garages or at your home. We're never beaten on price for fitted tyres. And Halfords Motoring Club Premium members get an even better deal, with an extra 5% off all tyres and an MOT at no extra cost. So join today for just $4.99 a month. And keep on moving for less. Halfords Motoring Club and price promise T&Cs and exclusions apply.
We all want the best of both. Dessert without calories, luxury without expense, and how about security without passwords? With Okta, it's possible. We secure identity for your business so you can safely use any technology. You could build experiences that are richer and more secure, grow revenue without running up costs, and scale easily, no matter your tech stack. Enjoying the best of both? It's possible. It's Okta. Okta, the world's identity company.
The bishop and the bear, the bishop and the bear, and to the delight of everyone, they are here to share jokes and rants and guests and things. Who knows what any fun they'll bring? Not affiliated with the Mad Bishop and Bear pub at Paddington Station. The bishop and the bear, bats beyond compare, buckets of savoir-faire, the bishop and the bear.
Welcome back to the Bishop and Bear. It seems like it's been forever. I think Hector was our last guest, and that was straight after the New Zealand series. Since which we must have had Christmas, New Year, and all of the stuff that came in between. So, plenty to catch up on. Adil Rashid on the 45, not today. We've got the original Brimful of Asher on the 45 because our guest is Richard Asher, cricket commentator, motocross broadcaster, a South African based in Austria. And at our bar, though not yet leaning at 45 degrees, we'll see what we can get him to drink. What happens? What can we get you to drink, Richard?
Oh, well, I've got a water here at the moment. In the virtual world, it'd probably be a cider.
A cider. We can do any cider you like.
We've got loads of cider in the cupboard because no one drinks it here.
Really?
Apart from Grubby. Grubby occasionally drinks it, actually.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Right, so our sort of things to chat about today, there were a few. We thought we'd start by a quick chat about South Africa reaching the World Test Championship final. And particularly what was, I think, although only 2 tests, both in their own way, fascinating tests against Pakistan. One of which was extremely close, and one of which, although, 10 wickets? The fact is, it kind of ended up as that because Pakistan sort of fell away towards the end, didn't they? Having made a pretty heroic effort after a dismal start, from my memory. But I think the bigger question, Richard, for you, is they send a reserves team to play in New Zealand. Everything Cricket South Africa focuses on is all about the SA20 white ball franchise, and suddenly they're going to be overplaying at Lords in a final, first World Test. How did that happen?
Well, how much difference a year makes? I mean, really, 11 months ago after this New Zealand tour, part of me had given up, on South African Test cricket because, the board doesn't take it seriously. We're going to lose all our players, and we don't even select our best team. We've just lost in New Zealand. I mean, what future could there possibly be? I mean, why even look at the fixture list, right? And then this thing kind of snuck up on us. There were a few months went by, and then West Indies, relatively easy opposition. Got away with a test win there, and the weather got in the way of the other match, which was drawn
in August, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was quite a long gap.
Famous at the time for a series containing the only draw that so far that in the entire year.
Exactly.
There
Yeah.
have been a couple since.
Didn't they lose like 3 days to rain or something in that one? It was like crazy,
it was an awful lot. Yeah. Which made the general atmosphere around those tests even more miserable. I mean, there was nothing about that series that made me feel more positive just about Test cricket in general, because there was no one there. There was less than no one there.
Yeah. But so you played that series and you lost against New Zealand. That was the beginning of the year. And you played 2 tests against the West Indies?
That's right. We only ever play 2 Test series nowadays, unless England
and then 2 tests versus Pakistan at the end of the year. So 6 tests.
There was a tour to Bangladesh after West Indies, which was 2 tests, and then we had Sri Lanka over to South Africa for 2 tests, and then it was the 2 Pakistan matches that we've just had, which were very entertaining. So, of course, the draw could have been tougher, and of course, the Test Championship system could make sense.
Well, yeah.
These things sneak up on us partly because only people with a vast amount of time on their hands can sit going through all the possible permutations of this indecipherable, fundamentally quite simple, but, there are just so many permutations when you're dealing with these percentages and not points.
Well, percentages and not points, and also the lost points that other teams have. He's thinking bitterly of England here in the Ashes. But I mean, the whole system seems a bit cranky. I mean, how many tests did you play to get to the final? Was it 11 or 13 in total? Over a 2-year period.
It depends. So the cycle started middle of 2023. Ooh, what have we played then? But up until I suppose the Australia series would have been in that time frame where we lost handsomely away to the Aussies. And there was also India in South Africa, which was actually, was that 3 or 2 tests?
That was
the Indians
3,
didn't
I
get
believe.
the win. Yeah. The Indians didn't get the win there. So it started fairly inauspiciously against big name opposition, home and away. Can't remember exactly what else was in that cycle. And then suddenly momentum came towards the end, and a winning habit is developed. And sometimes maybe it does help to have, well, it definitely helps to have an easier draw to get that winning habit. Batsmen needed confidence, and they went and found it, particularly from Bangladesh onwards. There was a breakthrough match in Bangladesh where De Zorzi made a big century, and Stubbs got a breakthrough century, and Varane made a century, and suddenly we had batters actually getting runs, which was what they're supposed to do, particularly the first 2 I mentioned. And then at home, when Sri Lanka came over, Rickelton made a breakthrough, and Temba Bavuma started to find his best form after being away for injury for a while. He missed the Bangladesh series, if I remember rightly. And he hit some of his best form after returning home.
Wasn't he? I mean, he averaged, I think, 89 against Pakistan in the Test matches, albeit, I think, mostly on the back of that enormous double 100 that he rattled up at Cape Town, didn't he?
Rickelton. Yeah, that's it. But there was also the 100 against Sri Lanka. So it's been generally a good summer for him, and all these guys are still finding their way. And I think Cape Town helped in a way. I think a flat deck also helps batsmen find their confidence.
Yeah,
and it was nice to see. I thought I'd never hear myself say it, but that Newlands deck was a good old-fashioned road. And it was a reminder of how rare that is to see nowadays. This was genuinely a wicket where if you got out, you could only have yourself to blame. And a couple did, like David Bedingham getting out. They would have absolutely rued it. 600 plus was almost a par score on that. Exaggerating slightly, but you know what I mean. And Pakistan should have made resistance, to be honest, as they did.
And we are back. Dave, you're on, mate. I don't know if you got the correct. I don't know if you got the correct rotor in front of you, but you are on. There you go. You're back. Nice to see you, Dave, again.
Yeah.
So here we go. This is where we find out whether I was talking bollocks or not. First ball is straight down to long leg, and it will be a single to get Sandy Sampson off the mark. We shall have some jingles. This man opened the batting. And this man is opening the bowling even for England.
Break your heart, break your heart. Hotter than lava, cooler than Bogart. In your face, at your stumps, on your toes, on your mum.
And the other batsman is. And he faces his first ball, and that is just played out to the covers, and there's no run.
Bit of shape there.
Yeah, it was a little bit. Yeah, right. That's probably going to get some dings, so we'll forget it.
Yeah. Good song, Sharma Police.
Yeah. Right then. So how do we see this panning out?
I think. Go on, Dave.
Well, I think India will be clear favourites because I think England about 20 runs short.
Well, they are clear favourites. First ball, that Abhishek faces. He goes back to us, carve it, misses it through the keeper, and there's no run.
But 9-2 is a true bet. It's a 2-horse race. And
10-3. 10-3 I got.
Okay, 10-3. Colman, still a good bet, and I think you'll get value from that bet.
Well, exactly, and that's really
especially
what
after that first shot from Abhishek, which looked like he was trying to give his wicket away off.
Well, he was running towards square leg, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, he got a lot of runs in the first innings, first game, not a lot in the second. He faces up, punches that out to cover, and there's no run. I've got under for falls the first wicket as well, which they've got for 26.5 for the Indians, which in a T20 is quite large. So we shall see.
That's the market's view of the England bowling, I think, more than anything else.
Well, you don't often see Joffa go for 60 in 4 overs, let's be honest. And he bowled pretty well in the first game, to be fair. So I wouldn't expect him to go for 60 again today. I wouldn't expect Adil Rashid to go as low as he did the other day today either. That's down the legs, though. Clip round the corner. There is a man out there. It'll just be the 1 run. Good start today.
Yep, controlled.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. I don't think you want to bowl so short that they're getting the chance to actually top edge it. You want to get it up into the chest, don't you, really? And very straight, which is usually he is pretty good at, Jofra, to be fair. When he comes over the wicket, you see how close he gets to the stumps. It's almost over the top of them when he delivers the ball. It doesn't offer the batsman a lot of room, and it is quick, and he's been in the 140s every ball. That one's slightly down leg, but Sanju can only paddle it round to long leg, and there's only 1 off the last ball of the over, so 3 off the first Archer over, very different to the other night, and all starting off okay for England.
And have we got anyone saying anything? Karen Stone says, Bear says England will win. Is the Bear a single something something?
Single smiley person, and I don't know what that other thing means. You can say that in language that I might understand as a 53-year-old man who doesn't really understand emojis. That would be quite handy. Right. Wood is going to have the next over.
And someone's correcting me from the first innings. Josh Roberts says there are actually 4 keepers. Duckett has kept for knots on occasions.
That is very true. So who are the other? Jamie Smith, Salt. Who's the other one? No, yeah, Butler, of course.
Is an England bowler quite good and pretty quick? So just a normal guy. Of course. Except for just one thing. What? He thinks that he's a horse.
Ooh, now the first ball's going to be a wide down the leg side. It could quite easily have been a strangle at the same time, but it wasn't. So there you go.
All results are possible with that ball. It could have been very finely nicked just past the keeper for 4 as well.
Yeah, very true.
This Wood's second or third match?
Third
in a row.
Well, for fuck's sake, 3rd in a row. I mean, they've had how many days between? They've had
3.
They've had 3. I mean, this is quite a long series for. I mean, they haven't shoehorned it in like most with games every 2 days. It's they're having a break, and he's only bowled with 4 overs. That's knocked down to deep backward square leg.
I'm surprised that Sarge Mahmood's not had an outing. He did well in the Caribbean, didn't he? And does swing the ball.
I'm surprised that they haven't given him a shot.
I suspect that one or other of Wood or Archer will get rotated in the next match, probably.
Well, I think the big thing is fucking what is Jamie Overton doing in this side? I mean, that's the big thing for me. I just don't think he's required.
He doesn't look like a number 7.
No.
An international number 7.
You know, if you've got Adil Rashid and you've got Cass, Wood, and now that's hit over the top of point. Not great timing by Abhishek, but he's going to have enough on it.
One-handed.
Yeah, he was reaching for that, but he is going to get his first boundary. It's 4 runs. You know, if you bring Bethel in and you've got Livingston and you've got Adil Rashid, then you've got 3 quickies and you've got Adil Rashid and 2 part-timers. And especially somewhere like India, you shouldn't need more than 3 pacers anyway. And having the extra spin bowler, you can just bowl a few darts, get an extra over or 2, give you a bit of leeway, is probably a good thing. That's pulled, and he has timed it pretty well actually. I thought he got a bit top edgy, but he slapped it over the top of mid-on. Not all the way though, and it will be 4 runs.
Yeah, the more you saw that, the more you thought that's quite well timed because it just kept going and going and going.
Yeah, it's a decent shot from Abhishek. He on the back foot, waited for it, and helped himself over mid-on.
It's only landed like 8 yards inside the boundary.
I don't even think it was that far. I think it was more like 2 or 3. Nearly a 6. 9 off 6 for him. 13 for Nunn. He's a good bat, Abhishek. He certainly batted well in the first game. But England need to take wickets and take wickets early. They're going to have a chance to win this if these guys. Well, mind you, England fucked it up after getting to 83 for 1, so I guess you can claw it back. I mean, you've seen that in the IPL several times. That one's gone up in the air. There is a man out there. Oh, and it's Liam Livingstone. He's usually pretty good, but he's just too far from him to be able to get in.
Just a little bit too fine to catch that.
And so it'll just be 1 run out into the deep.
Certainly refreshing to see 2 quicks opening in a T20. I mean, it's one could regard it as quite old school.
Yep, very much so. So Sampson will be back on strike. He's 3 off 3. 10 off this, 11 off this over with a wide off the first ball. 2 balls to go. So the roles are swapped because Woody was quite parsimonious at the beginning of the other day, and Jofra went for shed loads of runs, and today it's the other way around. So Woody is coming in, 5th ball of the over. It's straight, and that is a good ball. Sampson can't do anything with it. It'll just be a dot.
Much better line there.
Yeah.
It's not angled in to go down the leg side. That's angled in to hit the top of the middle.
Yeah. This is it. If you can bowl a decent length and dead straight, then you've got to make the batsman has to do something. I think he needs to be bowled sort of middle and off on a length with a new ball, or just short of a length.
Lifting slightly.
Yeah, lifting slightly. Well, exactly. I mean, these tall guys as well. I mean, Jofra especially does that. I mean, that's what the Australians do in T20. I mean, they basically bowl test lengths with the new ball. That's down the leg side, and it's not going to be anything but a wide. Again, not too far from the bat.
No, I mean, there's not a lot of room for error there. That's maybe 2 or 3 inches different from the ball before.
Yeah. Oh well. Sanjay Sampson facing up still. 15 for Nunn. With 1 ball to come in the second over. England have got a short cover and a point. Short mid wicket. That's full, and he tries to put that into the offside. And that was pretty quick because he was almost late on it. And hopped at the crease and couldn't get anywhere. It was a dot ball. So the last 2 balls just went for 1, which was a wide, and that's the end of the over. 16 for Nunn off of 2.
Let's see what we've got here. Ashish Dior says, "Hello, David Badil. Good day to you, sir." Karen stated, "I had 500 on England to what was that? Get to listen to the bear." Is the answer to that one?
Oh right. That one is nicely timed by Abhishek off the back foot, square out to the man at point boundary, and there will be just a single.
Clifford Bradford says, "I was thinking, why not use the Bayesian Wonderkind?" I presume he means Bethel. Or
well, yeah, I do think they're missing a trick here. This isn't England's best side.
Bethel's had an illness, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he certainly had an illness on Saturday. I don't know if he's still ill. Is he still ill today?
I believe so.
You think so?
Has he got Indian belly?
Well, now that's hit up in the air, and it's not gone far enough. And England do get the wicket. Jofra gets a wicket. Sanjay Sampson, he's another one who's not had a great series, it has to be said. And I like Sampson, think he's really good, but he's had a poor one, and he's not happy with himself. He's got 3 or 5. He's slapped that straight up in the air, and it's been caught by the man at mid-on. His eyes lit up a little bit. He thought he was going to bank it out to Cow.
Yeah.
But instead, he's just edged it, and this time, Adil Rashid manages to catch one. He cost us the game the other day, I say.
The crowd says,
was just that hard length, wasn't it, David? Just lifting and hard to power back over the bowler's head.
Yeah, that's the last of the 100 to 30 that you'll see, that's for sure, Bear. I mean, Archer, we're pleased with that because he dug it in and just a bit too quick for him, didn't get across. Sampson wasn't over the ball, and an optimistic shot in the end. So you wanted an early wicket there, you got one there. And,
I did indeed. And I got my money.
Yeah, the pace has worked.
And now you have to look at the next one. What I find out, what Lockie 6 says is, a side containing 11 ducats would never lose.
Well, I don't know how the bowling would look.
Yeah.
On that one.
Brian in Brisbane says, if there's no farewell broadcast from the GC Towers rooftop, surely we could organise a few chairs and a barbecue out on the footpath so we could all join in.
Well, there is a front garden, and it will be May, so yeah, we could do. Have a house leaving rather than a house warming party. Next man in is this guy, the skipper.
Surya Kumar, Surya. Now I know the others might have let you down. It's not too late to play Surya now. Surya Kumar, you're down.
And his first ball, he just guides out to backward point, and it's a single.
Yeah, pretty much a gift of a single there.
Well, roughly 42 and a half for the second wicket. No, they're not. It's just gone. So it's either there's been another wicket, or there's been a boundary off the next ball. Be my bet. Or maybe they've just closed it off because they're betting companies. Shorts down the legs, and it's given us a wide. Again, it's all so close to those gloves, that pad and the bat. And so far this over's 3 legitimate balls, just gone for 2-3 runs. So it's 1 for 6. Archer has it 1.5 overs. It's pretty good going.
Not sure England can afford 3 wides in 2 overs.
Yeah. Bloody left-handers, isn't it? Left-hand, right-handers. That's straight. That's a good shot from Abhishek. Hit it over the top of covers, and he's looking good again. And it's 4 runs.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
And he's a dangerous looking man, is Abhishek, it has to be said. Started off pretty well. He looks very fresh faced and young, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he looks a bit like Shubman Gill under the helmet, just a sort of left-handed dude. That one's straight again, just jabs it into the offside and goes through for a quick single. Fielded by Harry Brook. He's not had a great series.
Well, he hasn't. There's a few batsmen who've been missing out. It's good to see Duckett getting runs today, but aside from Buttler, there's been nothing out of the top order. But at least we saw today Livingston and Duckett getting some sort of score.
Well, exactly. As I said to you earlier, you need 3 middling scores, hopefully 150, and a large score from someone, and that's a big score in T20. That's a slower ball and it's straighter, and Sky just defends it up to mid-on, and that will be the end of that over.
He's an over from Joffre, 2 for 11, 52 overs.
Karen Wood qualifies that. She says Wood is very poor. And also Archer, come on! And V. Noxan said, good England bat on to 11. Otherwise, they'd only been scored about 150.
Well, they would have done. Yeah, I mean,
yes, I mean you could have if you could have heard the green room whilst the bear was in here, and Hendo was going absolutely berserk.
I know, well, he was going berserk before I left in there, and it could have only got worse when I came in here, when the 2 wickets or 3 wickets fell when I came in. Well, that's slashed at, and Abhishek, you have to say, that was supposed to go back over the top of either the bowler's head or out over cover, but instead he gets a thick outside edge that flies off down the 3rd man, and it'll be 4 runs.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary,
Get a slash, then slash hard. That was the first ball for Bryden Cast.
Oh yeah, it was. I didn't see the change of bowling.
England. Yeah, and Abhishek has helped himself there, but a bit edgy, but it's gone fast to the boundary.
It has indeed. Why can I not find Bryden Carson here?
Good response.
Yeah. Through to keeper, no run.
Yeah, and Carson's looked good in this series and took the place of Atkinson after just one game, and he's had a standout game in the second ODI.
Right, you've got a jingle that goes like this.
Stick your hopes of victory up to broadcast. Your hopes and dreams are flying at half mast. When the Bryden comes a calling, all your fools will be falling. Stick it all right up your Bryden cast.
And he's in now, full ball. Shot. That is quite well timed out through cover. He took his bottom hand off and was almost just defending his pads, really. It was a full bunger, about knee high. Looked pretty defensive, but he got right out to meet the bats, pinged out through the covers. It's gone for 4 more.
4 on the floor, and 1 more 4 than the 4 before. That's what 4's are for, to get funky on the dance floor.
That's the second one-handed boundary that Abhishek has struck so far.
That's modern bats for you, Dave. Modern bats. Yeah. Bryden Carson's in. Oh, now that's gone straight up in the air. It's not got a distance, but is anyone going to be underneath it? Yes, there is.
Oh, well
and
held,
it's Jofra Archer has caught Abhishek. I got another bet. And, well, he was the danger man. 24 or 14. He looked pretty good, but he didn't get that one away. Bryden Carson picks up a wicket. Suddenly, this is kind of interesting.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Yeah, it was swirling. It went an awful long way up. That's well watched by Jofra.
Extremely well judged by Jofra. Took it and
did the old parachute roll and stood up, and all is well. And Abhishek has to go.
And he's also smacking his bat around, thinking, "Why did I do that?"
It was a slightly skittish innings from Abhishek. He just looked like he was going to tee off from the start, which is fair enough. But I think India would have wanted him to go much deeper than that, to be out so early in this game.
It does bring in, I think, last game's superhero.
Well, yes, it will be this man.
At the rise of the sun, he emerges inside. He hides in the night. Until like vomit. Until like vomit.
11-8 now, England. Bear, you can hedged all you like now.
Yeah, well, I could do, but I want decent odds on India. I want them to evens. They're still 4-7. If they get to evens, I might do it today because I didn't do it the other day.
There's a couple of tweets about Duckett saying officially Duckett bowls better than right hand off break. So yeah, clone 10 more Ducketts. And also, the team of Ducketts wouldn't need to bowl very well. They'd score 400 runs.
Well, this is interesting. Jamie Smith is going off the field. I don't know why. Maybe he's got Delhi belly or something.
He came into this game with a...
he had a calf. Yeah, he had a tight calf, didn't he?
Which was why he took the gloves.
That's right.
He's gone off holding his gloves, and not going to see what you see in club cricket, which is someone else strapping on the pads out in the middle. But presumably one of the many wicket-keeping options.
Well, presumably it's Salt. He's been the keeper up till now, hasn't he?
Has he just gone off for a short break?
No. I mean, at the start of the game, exactly that. They said he was keeping because he had a tight calf. Didn't need to use it that much in his batting, but maybe a bit of dehydration, and maybe it's just ping.
We've seen the golden Bajan Wonderkind come out to subfield.
Subfield. So he must be okay, which then begs the question, why the fuck wasn't he playing today?
And one of the other 2 Bajans in the side is now coming out to put with the gloves on.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good catch from Jofra.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of ground to make up from mid-off.
Yeah, and no, if it comes through the lights, that's an even better catch.
Yeah. Well, of course, Jofra has experience. Is Jofra in the IPL? Yeah, I presume he is. He got a 2-year contract, didn't he, last time?
I think so.
I presume he didn't go for big money in case he was injured this year. Would be my bet. Well, Cars 4.4 wicket. 31 for 2 India in the 4th over. I did say if England can get some quick early wickets, then this could be an interesting game. Cast is in. Tilak faces up. First ball is onto his pads, clipped out to mid-wicket, and there is no run. He's got luscious hair as Tilak.
He has.
Yeah, definitely doesn't need a weave.
No. Definitely Shami has had a weave. I did notice that Hendo brought that up at the beginning of the show. He's definitely got more hair than he used to have. In fact, it looks quite weird, the fact that he's actually got hair when you're used to watching him with a sort of thin, balding
very
patch.
thin
Yeah.
frontal part.
And now suddenly he's got luscious hair all over his head. It's not natural, Mr. Shami. Cast is in, and that's slapped out through cover. Great shot from Tilak Varma. Came down the track, advanced at the bowler, gave himself some room and cut it hard and square. I'm going to give him a boundary.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, ominous looking start there from Varmy, looking like the man in form, just a couple of spaces down the track. Nice free flow of the bat, and very well timed.
Karen Stone immediately before the wicket said, England need a wicket soon.
I think we need another one to.
Well, she also says England need to pressure them. Let's get 5 wickets and it's game on. Well, I think 3 wickets would be interesting. I think.
Well, I also see one for Nessa says Bear organised a blue plaque for GC Towers. I have thought about getting one myself made up and just putting it on the outside of the building. It'd be quite interesting, wouldn't it? Oh, now that's picked up. Is there anyone out there? No, it's gone for 6 runs. That's Sky. He is a dangerous man. He hasn't done much in this series so far. But we all know what he's capable of, and that's 6 runs.
Yeah, just straying down the leg side there, Archer, and really nicely helped on its way, wasn't it? It was just a little flick. It's gone miles back.
Yeah, it's a lovely shot. Just using the pace of the ball.
There's a man out down there, had absolutely no chance. Cast down at long leg. I know he was up, wasn't he? Cast was up. So
yeah.
Perfect pace.
Can't stray down there. You know
what a record he's got, Sky, in this format.
Yes. I mean, he is a very, very, very dangerous man. I've seen some fantastic innings in the IPL. That one's into his pads, and he works out through deep mid-wicket. Get 1, they're going to come back for 2, and they'll make it reasonably comfortable.
Comes across very well, doesn't he, when he's interviewed as well?
Yeah.
I mean,
I do like him. You do wonder whether, you know, a couple of years ago, just before, was it the World Cup in India? He'd had a fantastic IPL and run up into that, and obviously, as an Indo says, maybe he's just not cut out for ODIs. Maybe this is his forte. That one is into the pitch and cut hard, and that goes out to the boundary, and that'll be 4 runs. That was a poor ball, one has to say.
Archer's having a bit of deja vu here, because very expensive in the last ODI, and now he's gone for 11 off 3 here, 6-4-1.
Yeah, he was going to get some bad overs. That was out the back of the hand, and he rolled his hand and hit it and got it into the deck, but it just gave him enough width that he could do something with it.
England just got to keep it, just got to tighten up here.
That's straighter. Good bit of fielding by, I think, Adil Rashid at mid-on. It's quite sprightly for an older man.
Yeah, it's noticeable he's not a short third man anymore.
No.
Or short fine leg.
Yeah. I managed to get across and cut that. Yeah, watching 112 or 51 deliveries against
Sri Lanka, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 112 here at this ground.
On this ground of 53 deliveries. Yeah, that's the IPL where he was fantastic, wasn't it? I think he got the orange cap that year and was just unbelievable. He's since come off that peak, you know. I mean, those peaks don't last that long. That one's full and driven by Tilak, but only as far as point, and there is no run. One ball
His
left.
run rate's gone up dramatically, hasn't it? There, it's gone now.
Yeah, it's the power play. I mean, there's only 2 men out, you know. I think England won 52 or 53 after the power play, so we're going to have a change at the end of this ball, at the end of this over in 1 ball's time. Jason is going to do some ball by ball. Hendo is going to come in and take over from me, and Messers is going to come back and do your socials for you. So I'll just give you this 1 ball and I'm out. Archer around the wicket into the pads, and Tilak Varma cannot do anything with it. Just defends it back to the bowler. So 1 ... to end the over. That's a pretty good end after going for 6-2-4. Hendo will be here. I will hand over to Jason, can fill in while Messi's is there as well, so he can give you some socials, and I'll see you in a bit.
Hello, Messi.
Thanks, Bear. Hey, how are you? Brown and seeing that, I was asking whether Hendo's had a weave, because he seems to have a lot of hair at the moment. It's growing in the same places, but there's just a lot of it. Lockie 6 says Steven Seagal hair studio, no one will notice.
Yes, don't get the Shane Warne one, no.
Yeah, Stephen Kelk says, well, hello there, Stephen. Welcome. Speak of the ball, says Lockie 6 as he sees me. Thank you so much. And Stephen Kelk says, had to see a man about a bike. Now time for some cricket.
And it's chopping and changing again at this bowling end. Wood's had one over, Carter's had one over, and Wood is back again.
Do you know Mark Wood? Yes, he is an England bowler, quite good and pretty quick. So just a normal
Canters in, and that's gone straight up in the air.
Except for just one thing.
Now there's going to be a good catch. Is it going to be a catch? And Salter's taken that, no problem at all. He's strained for his calf, no problem at all in trotting around to catch that. And Suryakumar, the dangerous Suryakumar, is gone.
You silly little boy, what on earth were you playing at? Oh.
We ain't going to get 100 off 56 balls this time. The thing is, the camera's just showing the ball up in the air, isn't it? You've no idea whether a fielder's going to get underneath it, and you're thinking to yourself, if that has gone directly up, that Phil Salt, it has to be the man to get underneath it, and he was, but he seemed to be waiting an awful long time for that to come down.
It went a long way in the air. But bear in the fact that Salt wasn't carded to keep because he had a calf strain.
Oh, it sounded pretty well.
I was thinking, how far is he going to have to travel to collect this?
There must be another alternative wicketkeeper in this England side. There normally is.
There's 4.
Oh, Duckett.
So Duckett's kept wicket as well.
Yeah, and who's the other one?
Duckett, Buttler.
Oh, Buttler, of course. How could I forget that? Well, that does seem like a risk not worth taking, doesn't it? Having put Phil Salt, if he has got a sore calf, to then have had Jamie Smith.
Maybe there's a sneaky plan here to injure Salt so they can replace him with a better opener.
Could be that, couldn't it?
Anyway,
that's very Machiavellian.
Yes, it's very Machiavellian, but that is me occasionally. Always looking for the. Anyway, Hardick has come to the crease. We'll jiggle him up in a minute after this ball as Wood comes in. That's a good ball on off stump, and Hardick just guides that down to third man. Archer fields and lobs the ball gently back to the keeper. 49 for 3.
And in breaking news, Hardik Pandya.
Well, you did mention, Jason, as you came on there, that Wood coming back into the attack, and the fact that switching the bowlers around in an attempt to make something happen, and he did immediately. So well done, Josh Buttler, well done, Mark Wood.
Yep.
And 3 wickets in the power play for England. That's not too bad.
First time in this series, I do believe.
Probably, yeah.
Anyway, round the wicket by Wood to, and that's going to be a wide down the leg side. Ill-directed. Wood is normally over the wicket, angling into leg stump. This time he's around the wicket and angling it outside leg stump.
Yeah. Perhaps, in T20s, it's even more critical. Your accuracy is even more critical. So, in one respect, you can't go down the leg side.
You've got to bowl at the stumps.
Yeah, I think it makes it difficult if you keep changing.
And that's better by Wood. That's rising, tucking Tilak up, and all he can do is chop it to point.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're bowling in a test match, you've got time to work a plan, haven't you, really? Whereas if you keep swapping between the two in a T20, then you've got to keep realigning your action slightly each time you switch.
Yeah. Anyway, Tilak's got a lot to do in this match, but he did a lot in the last match.
True.
Wood. That's another good ball on off stump, just bunted down the ground, go for a quick single, and that's a good single that they've comfortably made in the end as the throw goes down to the far end by Buttler.
And it was a direct hit, not that it made any difference really. But I mean, even though India are struggling in terms of wickets lost,
they're well up with the rate.
I mean, when they hit the ball, they hit it a long way.
If it misses by a small amount in line or length, then the ball tends to go over the boundary.
Yeah.
They're very used to hitting through the ball on these wickets, because if you don't hit through the ball, you don't get any value. Wood over the wicket, last ball, and that's just fiddled to gully. That's neatly taken by the substitute Bethel, and that's the end of the over. India 51 for 3 after 6.
Messi, it's all yours.
Yes, indeed. I would point out that I think Tilak is very much the key to this for England. It is now 179 balls since he was last dismissed in a T20I. That's almost 30 overs.
Jeez.
He scored 322 runs, the strike rate of 174. So, yeah, he does need to be got rid of.
Oh, it's not the end of the over.
Oh, no. And last ball, we missed the wide, obviously. And that's defended by Hardik. Now it is the end of the over, and it is still 51 for 3.
Okay. Lockie Six says, is Wood the fastest height to speed ratio bowler ever? I would think Gisha Rabada would qualify there. He's not a tall man.
I think
he's taller than Wood, isn't he?
I would have thought the fastest bowler for height is probably Malcolm Marshall.
Yeah, I would say Malcolm Marshall probably. But he's up there. I mean, the thing about Malcolm Marshall is that a lot of it was in the sort of arm action, wasn't it?
It's a very, very, very fast arm.
Rotated the arm incredibly quickly. Anyway, change of bowling.
Yes, we have a spinning attack. It's going to be bowls of bits and pieces of everything bowler.
It is indeed.
I am Livingston. I play for the Lightning. My one-day kit is blue, but for the tests it's white.
And I imagine he's going to be bowling his offies to Tilak, which is probably the less good, according to Hendo, of his two types of delivery. And that just pushed down the ground, and an easy single is taken.
Well, potentially, I think he can keep the runs down more with his off breaks to the left-handers. But if he just spears it in, but in terms of taking wickets, he wants to be bowling these leggies to the right-handers. I don't think there's a lot of spin in this pitch anyway, to be honest.
No, I'm not sure that the Indian spinners were large turns of the ball in any case. They're more skiddy bowlers. Oh, that's too short, and that's whacked off the back foot by Hardik. Down to the cover rider.
Yeah, he got away with that a little bit, didn't he? It was a horrible pull down. Yeah, but the thing is, the game has changed in terms of
game management.
Well, no, I wasn't going to say that. Down the wicket.
That's down the wicket and lofted beautifully by Tilak. Long levers and just flowed through the ball, and that's just skimmed across the boundary for one of these.
That was absolutely effortless. I think there's a big difference now for spinners, even in T20. The very fact, break off again.
That's pushed onto the back foot by Livingston, and Tilak just guides it into the offside for a relatively straightforward single.
This whole thing of reviews and the fact that balls that hit you on the front pad are as liable as any other to be given out.
Over the wicket again, and again it's short.
That's shocking.
And that's well fielded on the boundary by Duckett, because that ball was travelling towards the boundary. And he saves 3 runs there from Hardik's blazing shot.
Yeah, I mean Hardik's. I'll come back to him in a minute. But the fact of the matter is that as many wickets are taken with non-turning balls because of the threat of turn.
That ball did turn a bit. It was down the leg side and it straightened, and all Tilak could do was just work it towards the deep square for a single or on his knees.
Certainly in Test cricket, where players used to be able to get forward and just almost smother and barely play a shot. They just can't do that now with the reviews. The other thing, going back to Hardik Pandya, is I said on Saturday, he's a very dangerous batsman as well. If he comes off, if these two come off together, it could be over very quickly.
Indeed.
Yes. Messi.
Clifford Bradford says India and England's worms are almost identical except for early Indian wickets. If England can keep up the wicket flow, they're in with a good shout. Stephen Kelk says Malcolm Marshall was 5'11", which makes him a full 3 inches more than your hero and mine, Ben Duckett.
Yeah, Ben Duckett's probably.
I've never heard a 5'8" person referred to as a short person so much in my life.
I know.
It's so unfair.
It's ridiculous.
It's England's premier spinner who's come on now, and the first ball is on the legs of Varma, and he's worked it down to deep mid wicket.
Enough of that then. Short version.
Yeah. Although he's not on the 45, as we were noticing earlier in the innings, he's fielding at mid-on for Jofra Archer.
He's mid-on. He dropped that easy catch, didn't he, off Mark Wood bowling that probably would have won England the game.
In fact, they got 2 off the previous ball, and Tilak has again punched it off the back foot into the offside this time, and Duckett fields and throws the ball back.
I just wonder whether England's batsmen sometimes try to hit the ball too hard. There's an effortlessness about especially these tall left-handers of India, is that they just make sure they get the ball over the infield.
Yeah.
Especially, they don't have to try and whack the cover off it.
There's a slip in for Rashid now, and that's on leg stump, and that's just controlled swept round the corner to the man on the boundary. I don't think he's going for 14 in these 4 overs, the way he started.
No, I think this is going to be altogether more tricky. But they do need him maybe to take a wicket or two, that's the thing.
Yeah, he needs to get rid of someone like Tilak, who's on 17 off 12 already, and that's the googly, and that's well played by Tilak. He just watched that and pushed it into the leg side, and that's an easy single.
The only thing I would say that Brendan McCullum has so far brought to this England team in the white ball sense is the willingness to be a little bit more attacking with the fielding in a T20 situation. Not that it's paid off particularly, but the intent is not a bad one. It's not a bad one in my opinion.
There's a slip still in, and that's a better ball, but it's still short, and it's still played through the offside off the back foot by Hardik.
Well, that I thought turned, but it turned too. There was no pace in it, was it? It just came off the pitch very slowly.
Yes, I mean he's crouching on the back foot anyway. He had no problems at all in just waiting for it and just playing it away. Anyway, last ball of the over, 68 for 3. Tilak to face when he's ready.
Well, if he can get a dot ball in here, it's not bad from Adil. It's not a bad first over, but that's a very big but.
That's a beauty! Oh! Well, no, that's the one where you don't want to camp on the back foot, because that's turned sharply back and bowled him through the gate, trying to play a defensive shot. And Tilak has to go.
Brilliant delivery. You were just saying it's important that he gets a wicket. He's probably got the most important wicket of them all.
Yes, indeed.
That's a lovely delivery. I mean, that has turned fair way.
Yeah. And Rashid is well.
It's a shot, to be honest.
Rashid is well known for his googly, but people forget he also turns the ball as a leggy quite a lot as well.
Well, finally, Tilak Varma has departed the scene. He's been dismissed, and I think that has to be the most unlikely way of him going of any, really. There was just signs that one ball to the right hand had turned earlier in the over, but it seemed too slow. I wonder whether Tilak got himself into a bit of a muddle. He was a little bit unsure whether to go forward. He started to go forward, maybe then went back, and that maybe was what enabled the ball, even though it turned, to get through, just skidding on a little bit as well.
And it turned bit more, and he was cramped a little bit.
Well,
I
think it was a fuller ball, wasn't it? It was a fuller ball than the one that he bowled earlier in the
Anyway,
over.
we've got another tall left-hander who's come to the crease now at the end of that over. It's 68 for 4 after 8.
Yep, there are plenty of them around in this this Indian squad now.
And we've got Cast coming on to bowl again. They seem to be alternating from this end. It's Cast one and then Wood one, and that is worked away for a single. They shy at the stump, to go past, and they don't get an overthrow.
Yeah, so he's lining that up, and then he goes back, and it's ended up being a bit too full to go back to. He would have defended that probably quite comfortably had he continued to go onto the front foot.
Yeah.
Even though you have to say it's a good ball, and you have to say the flight is good because it's made him,
it's deceived him.
Yeah, it's made him think twice, hasn't it? So
anyway, Washington to face his first ball from Cast. This is over the wicket, and that's played just off outside our stump, and Rashid has blotted his copybook very slightly. Can't field the ball cleanly, and it bobbles away, and they take a single. Gully.
We're going to see this ball forever and a day now, aren't we?
Yeah, it's going to be a so-called magic ball.
I mean, it's taken out middle stump. That's the other thing, isn't it? It's the perfect delivery, perfect dismissal for any bowler, really.
It's interesting. Adil Rashid is ranked number 2 in T20 bowlers, only just behind Akil Hussain.
Akil Hussain, yeah. That's full and driven back to mid-off, and there's no run.
And the next highest English ranked bowler is Archer at 19.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that will happen when you have 2 successive international tournaments where you don't go well.
Yeah, I imagine that Bryden Castle will move up that list quite quickly now that he's a sort of regular in all formats.
And that's pushing back again by Cast. He's pushing the batsman back into the crease, and Hardick can just defend that.
But then again, the fact that he is a regular in all formats makes him more liable to injury, doesn't it? As an England fast bowler, he is liable to injury anyway. But to be playing in all formats, we talk about how you've got to manage Wood and you've got to manage Archer. Maybe you've got to think about managing Cast a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, it's been a good over so far. It's a single, dot. India on 70 for 4, and that's another good ball by Cast. It's turned him around, Hardick around slightly, off the outside half of the bat and squirting into the offside for no run.
Well, again, if he can get away with a dot ball here, it's been a great over. It'll just be two runs from it. I mean,
a wicket at the last, and
a wicket. As we were saying, if he got away with a dot ball, and he ended up getting a wicket and the most dangerous player at the same time. So a dot ball, a wicket, and the danger man in one ball, wrapped up there by Adil Rashid at the end of that last over.
Cast with his bowling face on, that's off the back foot, pushed very nicely, wide of the field boundary rider. They'll take 2. So 4 off the over, 72 for 4, still a good over. 9 overs gone.
Stephen Kelk says we are all Ben Ducketts, and then he says, okay, so Bumrah is 5 foot 10 inches apparently. To which Leah says, what a runt. Stephen says plenty of quicks shorter than Marshall, it seems, and Wood. Lockie 6 says, I've never heard Duckett referred to as a person. Womble and gnome, yes, and he isn't close to 5 foot 8. Maybe while riding on his uncle Bulgaria's shoulder, he is.
He's 5 foot 8 wide.
Look, I'm 5 foot 8.5, and I don't think of myself as short, particularly. I don't think of myself as tall at all. But
anyway,
I think the average male in Britain is 5 foot 9. Is that not right?
Something like that. Yeah. Adil's going to continue to Sundar. Gives him the steely eye. He's got a leg slip, and that is outside off stump. Sundar tries to work it past the short third man, but can't.
Well, that was that positioning of that fielder, Buttler, who's gone in a leg slip.
It's very interesting. And there's another one that's gone up in the air. Is there anybody there? No, there's nobody there. Overton comes in off the boundary, but he can't get there in time. That was skewed off the outside half of the bat. by Sunder.
Yeah, he needed to have hit it more cleanly actually, and then England would have probably had a comfortable catch there. But I say that was what made me point out the fact about McCullum's influence on the field. But also he had him there when Tillack was batting.
And that turns sharply, and that's another misfield at cover as Hardick flogs that ball off the back foot through the covers.
Yeah, but again a little bit too short because it's kind of stood up, hasn't it? It has turned a long way, but it's
given him time and room to play the shot.
And unless it's the googly, he's not going to be threatened by the ball.
Maybe he's setting up for the googly, but not to this guy. That's they're trying to repeat the magic ball of the last over. It's turned back in, but it's just covered up and hit him on the pads.
Well, he actually seems to be bowling better leg breaks to the lefties than to the right-handed batsman, I have to say.
Yeah, they're too wide. They're not on the stumps, are they? They're not threatening.
Yeah, not against the right-handers, no. I mean, maybe he's trying to make them think it's the googly by pushing it wide.
Oh! And that's gone over the top of the leg stump. That's an absolute beauty. And he's going to get punished for 4 runs for that.
I'm not sure whether he got an inside edge on that, to be honest.
Might be 4 byes, in fact. Adil Rashid is querying the umpire. Salt is looking slightly rueful. And they're still...
Well, I don't know what they're talking about, why we're seeing the DRS timer, because I don't believe that there was anything involved there that regarding an LB, perhaps. Maybe it just flicked the top of the pad. Ooh.
Yes, it did hit.
Yes, it did.
Oh, now I think that would have been worth. I think that's hit the back pad.
About
I think
halfway
it might
up.
have been missing. Yeah, I think it was turning so far.
Well, it's gone over the top.
Well, it did go over the top, yeah, but
no, but I think it would have gone over the top in any case. And anyway, last ball is squirted through to Gully off the back foot. That's the end of the over. That's the end of my stint. India are 78 for 4, and we should have a change.
David should be back. Are you there, David?
Hello, Endo. Lovely to hear you.
Haven't spoken to you for a long time.
Well, I know. I've been listening to most of your words, so always you're calling it absolutely right.
I do my best. And on that note, I will take a break.
I'll do a couple of messages while we change over. There's a drinks break on now, anyhow. Stephen Kelk says, "Aha, Duckett is 5'7", according to some sources. We want the truth." Lockie 6 says, "Is it politically incorrect to discuss dwarf cricket?" Probably. And Stephen Kelk says, "Hendo, it's the fact that you say 5'8.5" that speaks volumes." When you're that height, you grab onto every half inch you can get.
Well, I'm 5'8".
He says I'm 5'8 3/4. So there.
Well, when I was young, 5'8" was average height, but now it's no longer average height. Now I'm below average, which is really annoying.
And you'll get lower and lower as you get older and older, sadly.
Dave, you're doing our ball by ball. What do you reckon? I think my bet's quite looking good. I've gone for a run out as well because that's 16-1, and I always like a long odds punt.
Well, you've always been a shrewd punter, Bear, and it's looking good now because India 94 needed off 60. I mean, that wicket that Rashid got of Tillack, Varma, pretty crucial. Great ball. And it's time for Hardik Pandya to really deliver for India, and he hasn't really done that too many occasions. So
no, I think they can manage Hardik a little bit. They can keep him camped on the back foot and just smashing the ball to the boundary rider for a single.
Yes, exactly. And then you're looking at Jarrell, Axar Patel, Bishnoi to come. This one, though, has been firmly struck. That's going to be out. It's going to be
That's going to be a replay.
I'm on replay.
You've been tonied.
I've been tonied. Don't listen to me, everyone at home. There's no wicket there. We're just seeing some replays.
They're having the mid-innings drinks break.
My primitive technology let me down there. It is an extended drinks break. We've had the 10 over halfway slot. 78 for the not-out batsmen continue to be Hardik Pandya and Washington Sundar. And it's very interestingly poised. Wickets have been shared. Archer's taken one. He's quite expensive. 1 for 24 off his 3. Mark Wood 1 for 15 off 2. Bryden Cast has taken 1 for 16 off his 2. And Rashid 1 for 8. 4 of those are pretty streaky off his 2. 1 over from Livingston, we've seen. went for 11. So, yeah, it's all set up very nicely for a good finish, this. And something's going to be required from one of the Indian batsmen who haven't yet contributed in this series.
Well, this is an interesting ploy. The big lump, the slab, has come on to bowl.
He bowled well the other day, I have to say.
Are you referring to Jamie Overton?
We are indeed.
Yeah, he's one of the Slab brothers.
Slab 2 goes like this.
Jamie Overton can score it.
That'll do. Over to you, David.
Yeah, bangs the first ball in, short of a length, and Hardik sways out of the way. So the big lump of Jamie Overton, as he's now referred to, well, the lump. So this is pretty crucial. The sixth bowler for England, and how many overs will they get from him? Panja's on 9. He's taken 14 balls to get there. The target's 172, and there are 94 required. Here's Overton, and that's just tucked off his legs by Hardik for a single, and that brings Washington Sundar onto strike. When you look at Hardik, Panja, in terms of his his actual stats, they don't look that impressive, but I guess his T20 record, 87 innings, average of 27, strike rate 141. It's actually better than I thought it was.
Yeah, his strike rate's pretty good.
And I think he's managing the situation. He wants to get the runs down, and then he can launch if he needs to.
Yeah.
Keeping them in the game.
Left-handed Sundar now plays that one sweetly off just down to third man, and think about 2, but they've decided against.
Very good catch and release by Cars. That was in and out of his hands like a rocket, and he's got a bullet arm.
What was your 16-1 shot bet?
Run out.
Oh, the next wicket to be a run out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always when you get it, it's a massive bonus, and you feel really good.
Yeah.
Problem was, I got suckered into it because there was I think it was a T20 World Cup a few years back. I got like 2 or 3 in one tournament.
Played out into the offside by Hardik, only a single, so this is a decent over so far by Overton. Can he get out of it? He's bowled 4 balls and no boundaries.
But the deeper this goes, you've got a chance it will happen. But it's like basically it'll be either a caught or something else, won't it? And you're hoping that something else is it's getting tight and they're going for a stupid second run or something.
That one's full, and it's almost Yorker length, and Washington Sundar just digs it out to backward point. There's no run. Baz McCullum in his usual horizontal position, as favoured by Hendo in the green room, as he mentioned earlier. Ian Ahmed is on the field because Jamie Smith is off, and Phil Salters reclaimed the gloves. Wasn't due to keep wicket in this match, but replaced him after 3 overs. Overton, this one's half volley length, going to go for a quick single, and they get it. So decent over from Overton. India at the end of 11 overs are 82 for 4.
Matthew Cummins says, forget dwarf cricket. Someone sent me a video of dwarves versus drunks football match, and it was brilliant. The drunks kept ignoring the ball and chased the dwarves.
Fuck's sake. There is genuine dwarf totting.
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't the rugby England rugby?
Stephen kept saying that sounds like something from Lord of the Rings. Or an England rugby tour in 2011 to World Cup.
It's only 4 runs off that over from Overton, and can Adil Rashid get another wicket after dismissing Varma? He's on for his 3rd over, and the crowd, well, they're on the edge of their seats. I think this game could go either way.
Well, they've got 2 batsmen who you think could probably get them through after this, haven't they?
And that's a decent stop by Rashid off his own bowling to save a single. Sorry, Bear.
Well, you've got Dhruv Jurel and Axar Patel left in the hutch, really.
Yeah.
Who you'd expect. I mean, if they get close, then you've got Mohammed Shami back in the side.
He's a hitter, yeah.
He is a hitter, but he's also a bit of a rabbit.
Rashid, and that turns away from the left hand. It's the Goog again, played down by Washington Sunder. No run, so 2 dot balls. Which in the context,
I'm surprised actually that Washington Sundar comes in before Drew Jarrell, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get the feeling that Jarrell's in the side for his fielding at the moment. More than anything else, he took 2 catches today, I think.
Yeah, well, he is a keeper.
This one is played over mid-wicket, and there's a man back deep in the cover. That's another substitute fielder, Beth, who seems well enough to field, but not well enough to make the
why,
start.
if he's well enough to field, why is he not in the side? That's a tactical choice, obviously.
That brings Hardick onto strike. One ball, only 1 run off these 3 balls from Adil Rashid. He's keeping them pretty quiet. This one is straight, and that's just played straight by Hardick for a single. So England won't mind this. A lot of singles and no boundaries in these critical middle overs.
Yep.
Target's gone up to, it's over 10 and over now required.
Yeah, run the ball doesn't win the game.
No, Hardick can hit a long, long ball. I know that much.
But he's got
Crowd resorting to the old Mexican way. And this one is a one-handed sweep. There's an appeal for something by Phil Salt. What's he appealing for?
He's stumping, but he's not particularly convincing because he's walking away, throwing the ball away straight away.
I don't even think the umpire's going to go upstairs. So,
I don't think he even ever dragged his foot there.
No, I don't think so. And his foot looked like it was one in the crease.
Going to go up to the TV umpire, Nitin Menon.
I don't think they're even going to bother. No, they are.
Well, it's an umpire's review, I think.
Yeah.
Although Harry couldn't see it from where he was.
Oh,
he does.
Just drag.
But it is back.
It's back.
It's back.
Miles back.
Yeah. Okay, don't need to do that. Let's go on. Let's go on. Let's go on.
Can't believe he didn't see that in real time.
No. Not our expert decision. I don't like expert decisions. 4th umpire. Thank you very much. Or TV umpire.
He's not always an expert.
Yeah.
Now you finish off this over. Rashid bowls, and that one turns into the leg break. Turns in by Washington. Just going to go for 2. No, they come back and quite rightly sent back. Just a single to finish that over. Nice bit of fielding by one of the subs.
That's what I need, Dave. One of those. He goes a couple extra yards down the track.
Yeah. I can see you getting excited there, Bear. 12 overs, 85 for 4.
Lockie 6 says, the height is out of control. Half the teenage girls in my local supermarket are over 6 foot. Where do you live? In the land of the giants?
Yeah.
And Steve Wicket says, I have an image of Lockie 6 chasing after teenage girls with a tape measure.
That'd be a bit wrong.
Yeah. Less said about that, the better.
Aye. Well, England were 101 for 3 at this stage, which is 16 runs ahead.
Yes, but then we had a quite spectacular collapse.
Yeah. Overton's been given a second over, quite right. His first only went for 4. This one is, though, it's up there.
Out.
Fielder coming in from mid-off. This is not a replay. It's taken by Joss Buttler. That is the end of Washington Sunder. Well. Jamie Overton takes his first wicket. Washington's out for 6.
And we have to say goodbye.
All of the dreams
Seemed to squat a little bit in the pitch there, didn't he? Scooting on a bit.
Yeah. And he's also, he almost given himself the splits trying to play that shot when his back foot was so far back.
I mean, this is the thing. You've got to say Jamie Overton's an all-right bowler, but he's just not a number 7.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to put him in as a rotation for one of the faster bowlers, I don't have a problem with that. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Plunkett.
Yeah.
He kind of plays that Plunkett role, which I think is good. I always liked Plunkett, and I actually, I haven't seen a lot of Jamie Overton. What I have seen of him as a bowler in this format, I quite like.
Yeah. Does bowl a heavy ball one.
Yeah, he does bowl a heavy ball, but I don't want him as a number 7.
No.
That's why I just don't want him in this. I don't think you need him, Cast, Wood and Archer. I think you have 3 out of 4 of them.
Well, Akhtar's now in, but that cameo from Washington Sundar, 6 off 14 balls,
It's not
that
great.
could be the straw that breaks the camel's back of the chase, because
Well-
they're very much in a bit of a lull for about 3 overs there.
Well, I am going to say after this jingle. I mean, Hendo was going apoplectic during England's innings, which, you know, kind of fair enough. But I mean,
do
at the
wonder
end of the day,
whether this pitch is something to do with this
well,
pitch.
yeah, maybe. But I mean, the point is, you have to get a score to get on your board, and we didn't look like we were going to get it. And they threw it away, but they went. You know, you kind of see this sometimes in T20s, where the top order scores the runs, and it all falls away when you should have got 100, 210, and you end up with 170, 180. It's still competitive, right? And that's the aim of the game.
That's a decent ball from Overton. That's the first ball that Axar Patel has to face. So yeah, the key thing is the wickets column. India are 85-5.
You know, England were losing wickets at this point. They're losing wickets. Maybe it is an old ball pitch. You know, it's gets a bit sticky and hard to time and all this kind of stuff. I mean, everyone's saying the lowest score that had been defended was 169, but
this one's driven straight to short extra. Good, decent bit of fielding by Jofra Archer for his colleague Overton there.
I mean, there's only been 5 matches at international T20, so it's a very small sample size. I don't know if they play any IPL at Rajkot. I don't think
No,
they
it's
do.
the Modi Dome, I think, for Gujarat Titans.
Oh, of course. Pack them in. 100,000 and Modi Dome.
Overton again, he's right on the money. He bowls that heavy ball just outside off stump, and only a single possible there. So this is good from England, turning the screw, and run rate going up all the time. 5 wickets down. So be surprised if England weren't the bookies' favourites now. There.
No, they were when I last looked, and India were evens.
And they
but I'm not going to hedge out.
You're not hedging.
Not misery
There's
hedge.
Confidence from Bear. Well, he might. It's a lot of resting on Hardik Pandya. He's on 12. Still haven't seen Durrell. And Overton is 1 for 5. And this one is Bill for LBW. Just missing leg stump. I think it was full. Looked like it was just drifting down leg, but he got it up into the block hold. Butler's coming up for a chat. Are they going to go upstairs? Wouldn't have thought so. Just a polite inquiry. Phil Salt's coming down to have. Yeah, he's gone upstairs.
He's gone for it.
Gone for it.
I can't believe that that's not going to be umpire's call on the leg stump. So I think that, and we wouldn't overturn the original decision. So
double negative for me there, Jason. You can't believe that it's not going to be out. It means you believe it's no. You can't believe that it's out, so you believe it's not out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right on the shin almost. Very low down on the shin, almost a shoe.
Yeah, going down short.
And anyway, Bear has had the police calling him. So he's going to step away for a minute. I will move over into the other chair whilst he does his bit. No, it's the sound of the police.
Oh, I see. I thought Bear was helping them out with their inquiries for a moment. Jason's switching chairs so he can access the jingle tray. Divisional decision was not out. I'm sure we're about to see that confirmed, but they're taking their time about it.
Right, I'm in the left-hand mission control position. Here we go. Yeah, missing as I thought.
Comfortably missing wickets. So the review is lost. Let's hope they don't need it. 2 balls to go of this over. 12.4 overs gone, and Salt crouches down, waits for Overton to bowl again. It's well directed, and it's driven firmly to mid-off. Just a single, and this is good from Overton. Can he close out this second over? He's only gone for 5.
Yep.
And
excellent over
as well. That is in fact the end of the over. So that's 1 for 5 off 2 overs from Overton. India, after 13 overs, 86 for 5. They need a further 86 from 42 balls.
Yep. Lockie 6 says, "Nah, I can measure them like an undertaker." Talking about the young girls in a spaghetti western. And Steve get response with, "Yes, it's your height I'm looking at." Lockie says, if you take 5 more wickets, we win. Starting to hope. It's the hope that gets you. And he also says, property magnate Bear takes a short break to talk to the fraud squad. Anyway, and it's in that time, Adil is back.
This is his last over. He's bowled 3 overs, 1 for 11. It's been superb from Adil Rashid. This one, given some air, that's just going to be off the boot of Axar, no run.
Yeah, and the Bear has returned from his landlord duties.
Oh yeah, I've got a tenant moving into one of my flats today, and she went to the wrong place. She sent me a picture of a key safe and said, is that the right one? And I was like, no, that doesn't look like my house at all.
Listeners might have picked up on Bear's use of the phrase "one of my flats" there. Driven down by Axar Patel. Some listeners might think you got so many, Bear. Can't you leave this one for Gorilla?
Well, yeah, well I can't.
You've got too many cubs.
Too many cubs. My daughter has gone off to university. It's cost me a fucking fortune. And the whole point was to sell the ones that I'm now letting out. And unfortunately, one of them had to go because of the situation I'm in.
Gee, that's going to be a wide outside. No, he's got the end of the bat on it, and he's going to get probably 2 runs. No, just a single. So could have left that for a wide, but he managed to reach out for it, Hardik, and toe-ended it for a single. So he moves on to 13. But no boundaries for a while now. And some long faces in the crowd.
This is good containing stuff from England at the moment. Yeah. They've really dried up the boundaries and made India run all the runs they're going to get.
Well, exactly.
This one is a tempting big hit from Axar Patel, but the man is back on the boundary there. Looks like Bethel is up, and they're just going to take a single. So still no boundaries. 83 off 38. The current run rate has dropped to just 6.5 and over.
Well, this is that's a bloody long way to go. I mean, they've got to go over to a ball now.
Yeah, it's over to a ball. So we're talking over 12 and over now. And Rashid. This one is again well directed, just turns a little bit, and it's played up by Hardik. No great ambition behind that shot. It's still just ticking over the singles, but it's going to have to start going for it at the moment.
Someone's going to have to try and launch something. I mean, they've only got Dhruv Jurel left, and I'm surprised. I mean, he's a batsman, isn't he?
I mean, I would have thought Plan A is Axar to run singles to get Hardik on strike so he can launch, but equally. You could have Axar hitting away straight away, knowing that Jurel is coming after him.
It also has to be a pretty special launch to get you through to the end.
Go for LBW there against Axar Patel. Rashid is pleading the umpire. This is definitely.
I think that's just too high.
Do you think? I think it might have turned too much as well.
It's a good ball. It's almost a carbon copy of the one that got Tilak out. But
it's a question of also did it hit in line? Well,
they've gone for it.
Adil Rashid is convinced, so he's convinced Buttler, and I think probably he's earned it. He's gone. Well, he said he wouldn't do what he did the other night, but he's gone for 15, and he's got 1 ball left in his 4 over spell, so he's bowled fantastic again. Adil Rashid is,
ageless.
Got to put him in ice, exactly. You've got to keep him alive and kicking for the next 4 or 5 years if we can.
Yeah,
never going to
clone him.
We're not going to replace him. Put it that way, right? So it's pitched outside. It's turned back. It's hit in line. That's not close.
That's not as high as I thought.
It's a question of it could be umpire's call on line. It's certainly not a hit the bat. And the question is, I think that's in line. The question is, has it done too much almost, Jason? David?
Yeah.
It's turned quite a long way.
Yeah, I certainly don't think it's
a good shot.
It's in line.
That might be too much.
It's missing leg.
Just missing
That's a lot of turn.
That's an awful lot of turn. It's done too much.
A lot of turn. And as you're saying, Jason, the plan for India has to be Patel to get Axar to knock the singles around and Hardik Pandya to strike the blows, but Pandya's not going fast enough. He's 14 off 21. That's the end of that over, 90 for 5 off 14 overs.
Nothing on YouTube, nothing on that other.
I mean, from what you said, James, I agree with what you've said in terms of India's plan to win this match, but it means that Hardik Pandya's got to go a lot quicker.
They don't know whether to stick or twist at the moment.
Right, he hasn't hit a boundary yet. He's been in 21 balls. He's on 14. And
this is what I said earlier. I think they're managing Hardik very, very well with the bowling.
Yeah.
He might get a boundary now. Yep.
The back 5, that is a boundary. Hardik, and you're driving that one. Is that straight? They're running round, can't stop it. That is 4. So the first boundary for Hardik Pandya needed that. It's gone to 18. That's off Overton. First boundary to be struck off Overton, who's in his 3rd over. It was well pitched up, and Pandya timed that nicely. Went lofted 2 or 3 bounces to the boundary. Just beat Harry Brook out there at long off. Didn't get that far away from him.
No.
What's Overton's response going to be? It's shorter and risky shot from Hardik, but Bethel's out there at deep square leg, just a single. So Aksar going to have to try and get Hardik back on strike unless he's going to launch it himself, because you do need over to a ball now. 95-5 India. The crowd are absorbed in this match. England chance to get one back in the series. Aksar waits now for Overton. It's gone for a big one. He's gone over extra cover, but there's a sweeper. It's Jacob Bethel, and only a single to Aksar, so 96 for 5. Still 76 required. The target 172. 96 for 5. The wickets column pretty important, and the crowd are looking thoughtful here. Overton with a plan of action, and Gelson Gambier is usually looking quite morose there in the dugout. This one is short and straight away by Hardik. Is that going to find the boundary? No, it's well stopped by Bethel. Full length dive from him, saves 2 runs. They run 2. Decent bit of work there from the substitute, and Pandya goes on to 21. 98 for 5. Good commitment in the field.
Yeah, it was a very good bit of fielding. I mean, the thing is, Hardik Pandya is an explosive batsman if he gets going.
But that was the first ball from Overton that's really been short and able to be pulled. Pretty much every other ball has been fallen up to the bat and in the V.
This one's short as well, and he's gone for a repeat shot. This time it's going straight to Bethel, and there's only 1 run there. So 1 boundary off this over, 1 ball to go. Overton gone for 14. It's complete his 3rd over.
They nearly need 2.5 a ball now, so they're not going along enough, is it? I mean, that's only 11 off this over, even with that 4 off the first ball. I mean, it'd be extraordinary if they get there from here.
They're bowling to give them 1 a ball basically at the moment.
Hopefully, some of our listeners took the bait from took the clue from Bear earlier when he plunged on England at the break. Overton, and that's drilled through, but only a single. Bethel there completes the fielding as sweeper. So, well bowled, Jamie Overton. 3 overs, 1 for 15. That's 100 up for India, but they still need 72, and there are only 30 balls left. That's the end of. Is it the end of my spell?
It is the end of your spell.
Oh, it is the end of your spell.
It's the end of my spell.
I'll jump into there.
Endo, I think, is going to be coming back into seat, so we might be on the benefit of a rant. It might be a delayed rant, because there's every chance for sniff of victory. Messers is back in the seat.
Thank you, David. Yeah, it's. I think India are in some deep shit here, to be honest.
I believe so.
Yeah, but much to my surprise, I have to say.
Well, that's been a very good little spell. If we look at that chart, just 22 runs in that spell of 5 overs for India, and the loss of 1 wicket. And 1 more wicket, and you feel like there's not a lot left, really. You feel as if Hardik has got a chance his arm, and if he comes off, India's still in with a chance. But it's tough. 72 or 30 balls. Kars is about to bowl his 3rd over. He's back into the attack, replacing Adil Rashid. He's coming in to bowl to the left-handed Akshar Patel. He aims it round about his leg stump or just outside. And all Akshar Patel can do is tuck it away for a single. Collision in mid-pitch between Kars and Akshar Patel. I'm not sure whether it was a Kohli Contas kind of contact, but nobody seems to be getting too bothered by it. A little bit of pensiveness on this packed Indian crowd now. The faces of it.
I like Anendo's optimism here. He says, why don't we try and do some crowdfunding to see if we can get GC to buy a studio apartment?
Pulled, or an attempted pull by Hardik Pandya. It was angled into him, hit him probably outside leg stump, rebounded into the offside, and they'll come through for a leg bye.
Somewhere in London, we'd need what? Well, we needed
Studio
a deposit.
flat in London.
We need a deposit, probably about 50 grand, 25% of about 200, 250 grand.
Hang on, but if we rented it?
No, he's saying to buy it.
Yeah, but what about renting?
Well, that's what we're going to do. And we can
Yeah,
do
but
that with
renting
what
a
we got.
studio flat?
No, they're more expensive than commercial space.
Are they?
Studios are fucking stupidly expensive. They're about 1,200 quid a month. And then you've got to... I'll tell you after this.
Down the wicket comes Axler, also giving himself room outside the leg stump, and he aims a swipe at that one and misses it. Goes over the top of the stumps through to Phil Salt.
The thing about studio flat is you then have to add on utilities and Wi-Fi, water, gas, electric on top, which will add you another at least 100 quid a month.
As opposed to a...
Well, if you get a commercial unit, all that is usually included.
Why don't you get a flat next door to a commercial unit and steal their Wi-Fi and shit?
Cast in again, slapped by Akshay Patel. He hit that hard. He collides with Cast down the other end as he runs through for a single. A yard either side of mid-off, and that would have raced away to the boundary, but he didn't manage to get the placement quite right.
We could nick, we maybe had to nick the Wi-Fi, but we certainly couldn't nick the gas, electric and water, unfortunately. It's just a bit tricky.
Well, I'm sure you know plenty of builders.
Well, yeah.
Dodgy ones at that.
So Hardik back down to place, 22 off 26. Asher has 7 off 12. 103 for 5, 69 required off 26 balls. In comes Bryden Cass again. Pandya's giving himself plenty of room. He's so deep in his crease, and all he can do is pull it out to deep mid wicket. But you have to be wary of Hardik, because he can suddenly switch into gear and takes a couple of shots, and suddenly he's away. He's on 23 off 27, but he's still there. You know, it's not, by his standards, that's not a quick scoring rate. But we saw what Tilak could do on Saturday with some sensible batting. This is a little more difficult, you'd have to say, in terms of the number of runs required to balls available to them. Cast to come in and complete his third over. He's into Axel Patel. He bowls him a slow one, but he smeared this, and that has found the gap between deep mid wicket and long on. It was going to be a good over up until that point. Still not too bad. It's 8 from it. India 108 for 5. Axel on to 11. Messi.
16 and over they require, which is quite a lot when you're 5 wickets down. Ravid Natarajan is with us. He says that's not a bad idea at all. Issue proportional ownership. So we issue people with shares for their part in the business.
Well, now that would work. We'd set up a company, people can buy a share, we buy a flat, and then they have a stake in the uplift of it, presuming we last forever, and it goes up by 120 grand in the next 10 years.
Yeah,
that's not a bad plan. So if anyone actually wants to do that, it'll be quite a big stake each, because I can always imagine there's a few of you, but a few grand each, we could probably buy something cheap that would do the job.
Mark Wood back into the attack. 2 overs, 1 for 15. He's bowling to Hardik, and Hardik aims a big strike at that outside the leg stump, but Wood has, if anything today, he has tended to drift down the leg side a couple of times, and he's done it again there, and it's a wide, which is annoying. I
could quite easily set up a company on the internet and issue shares from that. So if anyone wants to do that, that is an investment opportunity for people.
I like that idea. I think
it's not a bad idea. If you've got a few grand and you want to invest in a flat in London, it's not a bad job, because all we'd have to do then is cover the mortgage. It would be a lot cheaper than commercial space.
Oh, he's launched that. Has he got enough on it? I think he probably has. Just about. He has. Yeah. Well, there we go. Hardik. It was an effortless clip.
Didn't time it
but I didn't think that it. I thought it was going to go. Then I thought maybe it'd just drop into the hands of Harry Brook, but it just cleared him, not by a lot.
No, he's only going to run a ball, isn't it, Hardy? After all this.
Yeah, but as I just said, once he plays a couple of really big shots, he can suddenly switch into over. He can go from second to fifth.
He can.
A couple
it's
of balls.
Still a long ask, though.
Wood
It
in
is.
again. That's a better ball. Cramps him for room, but he's going to try and take two as he bunts that away through mid wicket. He's going to get those two, and throw comes in. Needs to be backed up. But Hardick's on the charge. 31 off 29, 117 for 5, 9 runs from the equivalent of 2 balls in this over. So really a little bit of a worry here for England. Of course, I think Hardick likes that extra pace on the ball, generally speaking. And still got Archer to come back, haven't we? Still, has he got 1 or 2? Archer, is it these two these two with 2 overs each potentially?
Strike rate
Archer's got 1 left.
Strike rate of 160. I don't think he still gets there.
Wood in bowls. Oh, he's top edge stat. Has he? No, he's gloved it, and I thought for a moment it might just rise up and be taken by Phil Salt behind the stumps, but actually that was an optical illusion because it was looping into the onside nearer to Wood. And
that was a cutter. He rolled his fingers across that.
And Wood, well, he couldn't quite get there, but he's prevented them getting the single. Yeah, it took 18 Ks off that compared with the ball before. And that might be what disrupted Hardick's timing. 31 off 30, 117 for 5, 55 required of 21 balls. England need the win to keep the series alive. He's in again. That's a horrible smear by Hardick. I don't know what he's signalling as he sort of wanders down for the single. I think he's just annoyed with himself for playing such an awful shot.
It was pretty quick. It was up at 99 miles.
Yeah, it was
89 miles an hour.
It was quick, but he smeared it horribly. He didn't time it at all. Yeah, not that anyone's pretending it's easy to time a ball that's travelling at 89 Ks.
Ks?
Miles per hour.
Yeah. 144 on a clickometer.
Yes.
Oh, I'm doing social, aren't I? No, I'm not doing social, am I?
Down to
Theoretically you are.
But you're better at it than me, Messrs.
Yeah, I knew you'd say something like that.
Axel Patel's having a long look around where we've got 4 men out on the leg side and 1 on the offside. The one on the offside is at cover. Oh, now it looks like he might be making a bit of a change here. So what is going on here? Yeah, the long leg is coming up onto the 45, so we've got a deep backward square, mid wicket, and a long on and a long off. I think that's a good ball again from Wood, from round the wicket this time to the left-hander. He gets that high up on the splice as he was trying to force it into the offside. They can't get through for the single. 1 ball remaining in the over. 10 from it so far.
Ravi's asking how much we're talking about for a studio to house Guerrilla Cricket in London. Beer?
Well, if I looked and tried to find a 1-bedroom flat in something like an ex-council flat, we could probably get something for about 200, 220 around here, I reckon. Which, I know Lockie's saying everyone put in enough to buy the thing, but we can get a mortgage on 25%.
This is smashed. That's a good shot. That's going to be 4, is it? It's going to take a great effort from Buttler. And he does everything but stop it, really. And that is another important 14 from the over. Axel Patel moves on to 15 off 15.
It's not enough, is it, really?
30 off 31, 122.5. I'm there. Well, you know.
Maybe I'll put together a proposal because
I think it's a good idea. Yeah,
it's actually a good idea if people want to invest, because it is a way of making your money safe. Property in London is pretty fucking safe, I'll tell you that. And I could look for a flat in this area, especially if we went out somewhere like Norbury or just a bit further out than here. It might be able to get.
Well, Ravi says if
price.
we can get 10 to 15 members at $15,000 a pop, I can jump in at that level.
Ooh.
Well, if people could jump in at that level, that's more than enough. We'd have a tiny little mortgage on it anyway, and we could just pay that off.
Well, it's going to be Jofra Archer back into the attack. Archer's got one, Wood's got one, Carter's got one. That might be the final 3 overs. In he comes, bowls to Pandya, who whips that away, stands in his crease and gets it out to Livingston at deep mid-wicket. It's just a single. It's possibly a good move that Hardik is off strike. You really don't want him to get into the groove. He's got 33 off 32. India 123 for 5. Need 49 off 17. So we're kind of up to almost 3 a ball, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. I mean, this is it. I mean, no matter how good they're striking it, they got to. This is it. You'll need it 18 and over.
Archer in. He's looking for the Yorker. Didn't get it, but he's got a full toss, and it's been skived to the man at backward point. Again, a yard either side. That was a sped away for 4, but the catch has been taken by Adil Rashid. Adil Rashid making up today for that awful drop catch at the weekend, as he's taken that one. That was travelling, I can tell you.
Well, it was travelling, but I'm going to say something at the end of this. Well, all your apoplecticness in that spirit period when England were losing wickets, you know, they're going to go on and win this game.
Well, possibly, yeah, but the other thing is, or probably, but that doesn't, I don't think that takes away from how badly England did in that particular period.
But this is where I'm angling the Andy Ward thing. I mean, in 20 overs, you just go. It doesn't really matter. And you can get pissed off about it, but the fact is, if you get to a score that may be defendable, that's your goal. I mean, it looked like they would get a lot more, but they got their runs at the top rather than at the end. And
and that can happen, absolutely. I totally understand that. But, going from 80...
There was fundamental skill failures, in my view.
Well, not just skill, but I think intelligence failures.
If both teams are doing it, I mean, the thing is, they've still got India always had to chase down 170, which is 8.5 and over, which, isn't easy to do.
Archer bowls to Jurel, who is the new batsman. I've forgotten about him. Coming in at 8.
I think we all have. I don't know why he's batting so low. I thought he was a better batsman than the 2 people above him. But there you go. Here we go. He has a jingle that goes like this.
Have you heard of Jurel? Oh, he's the dude behind the stumps. And he also sometimes bats. And that's the tale of Jurel.
No, but I think what you've got to say is that when they went from 80 odd for 1 to 115 for 7, you couldn't see England getting much more than 130 or so. This is driven in the air. I think it's got enough on it. Oh, great effort, great leap by the man down there, but it was hit flat. It was hit hard. It's gone for 6. I think that might be a Smaximum, Bear. Can we have a Smaximum jingle?
Yeah, you can have a Smaximum jingle. You know what? Here's what I'm going to say about this. Hold on. We have a Smaximum jingle. Here we go. It's a new one.
Smack it in the air, beyond the boundary. Smack it in the air.
If you'd have thought about, if someone had mentioned this fucking 8 months ago, you could have bought this flat and we could have stayed here. And it could have just been transferred over to the Guerrilla Cricket Corporation, and everyone could have had a share in it. But there you go.
Flicked away by. Can I get some commentary in, boys, please? There's actually a game still going on. They've taken a single out to deep square. That's he is. I think he is without parallel in terms of how deep he gets in his crease and hits these full balls flat and back over, long on and long off Hardik. It's Jurel facing in. Oh, and he's picked that one up as well. But is it going to go? Oh, hang on. Now, what did the tiny Ben Duckett do there? His little legs wouldn't carry him as far as to take the catch, and that I thought he was going to catch that quite simply. But then he just put the brakes on and let it bounce.
I thought he realised he wasn't going to make it.
It bounced well in front of him. Yeah. I think.
I don't think it. I think he was on course to catch that.
He could have made the drive forward. Maybe he thought I was going to save. I'm going to save my rather square chin.
Oh. I can understand that to a certain extent, but absolutely.
Yeah.
End of the over.
I think you're right.
131 for 6. 2 overs remaining. 41 required, and they're going to bring Jamie Overton back into the attack. Mark Wood is taking a break after his 1 over.
Diana Patterson says, Ravi, wow, you're worth 10 of me. Matthew Callan says, Messi, do you miss doing the ball by ball or summarising, or do you prefer being on social? I love being on socials. I love the connection with all of you. And I'm planning to travel around Britain in May and meet up with some of you and do some interviews. He also says, Bear, could we have a proportional number of nights there a year as a timeshare when there's no cricket on?
First ball of the new over from Jamie Overton is smashed straight, smashed hard, but not smashed long enough by Hardik Pandya, and it's into the grateful hands of Captain Jos Buttler. India lose their 7th wicket, and you would think probably with that goes all hope. Very nicely taken, and another really good piece of captaincy from Buttler, not only being positioned there to take the catch, but it's the second time in this innings that he's brought a bowler back and they've taken a wicket with their first ball.
As indeed, and that was the big man as well, wasn't it, Hardik Pandya? So we have to say goodbye to him, and that's probably, well, the game was done a while ago, wasn't it?
I've seen Shami get a 50 on the 22 yards of rolled snot of Trent Bridge in 2014.
Yeah, it wasn't a T20, was it?
No, it was but they did hit it quick. It was pretty quick.
It was. That was him.
Him and Boovie.
Yeah.
Put on 100-ish. Both
then,
got 50.
That was when Jimmy Anderson got 87. Though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
right.
yeah, we know what that was like.
Indeed. Mohammed Shami then.
Got another taker. Lucky Six says, I'm interested. 50k of your English is wasting half its life in the bank.
Down the leg side, wide, one imagines. Indeed it is.
Well, I will put this together.
I don't see how we could have bought this flat based on... I'm not going to say what the asking price is, but it's more than 200,000.
Well, this is it. I mean, it's true. It doesn't matter whether it's somewhere else or here, does it? I mean, it was just, people have suggested this earlier.
And this is also a 3-bedroom flat, is it not?
Yeah, it is.
That's chipped up in the air by Shami. Or is it Jarrell, I think, who's run through for the single. Wasn't that far away with providing Overton with a return catch. 132 for 7. Well, England should win this now, and with 39 required off 10, and that keeps the series alive, at least until Friday. So, yeah, it's a surprise. I mean, what you've got to say about England is that they actually did well having collapsed. They got a lot more than I thought they would get. Lifted down towards long on by Jarrell. He'll get a single. It was quite flat and it dropped well short of the fielder there. I didn't see them getting 171, I have to say. From 115 for 7, I thought they were going to be lucky to get 140. And as we can see, that probably wouldn't have been enough. 134-7 is the score, and India could have been, perhaps taken less chances had that been the number they needed. However, this is pulled by Shami. Now you mock Mohammed Shami. He is refortified. He is fortified with more hair than most people have ever seen in their lifetime, and he's put that over mid-wicket. Sorry, deep square leg for one of these. I think actually bowling short, slower ones to someone like Mohammed Shami is probably not the best way to go, because he prefers it slower, a little bit slower. Overton in again. Bowled him a really slow one there, and Shami was through the shot outside the off stump very, very early indeed. Made a bit of a fool of him, really. So a good response from Jamie Overton. We're looking at who scored the most 4s in this match. Just Buttler must have hit some 4s, didn't he?
Ben.
It says most 4s in this match, and it's got 2 Indian players who've got one each. Surely Buttler got as many as that, if not more. Maybe I'm wrong. Lifted into the long on area. A second wicket in the over for Jamie Overton. What a good piece of captaincy. Good bowling from Jamie Overton. He's done extremely well. And India, with 1 over to go, are 140 for 8.
Oh dear, oh dear.
After you've gone
Well, how did we mock Jamie Overton when he came in for his first ball and allowed his leg stump to be taken out by a perfectly straight delivery? But he has performed admirably. He's completed his 4 overs. Wonderful figures of 3 for 24. And Bishnoi is the remaining batsman to come out. You kind of feel... Hang on. No, it's only 8 down, isn't it? Bishnoi, we've still got Chakravarti as well.
Yeah.
Jarrell must be thinking, well, hang on. I've only been out here long enough to get to 2 runs, and I've only got Bishnoi and Chakravarti beneath me. I feel like he's a bit of a... Have they wasted a batsman here a little bit?
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know what his IPL record or his T20 record is, to be honest.
Cars bowls. Over he comes, Jarrell. He's going to be caught. He's had enough of it. He's caught off a full toss. He was trying to play the ramp shot. Didn't get it. And Salt takes the catch. So the wickets are falling at a remarkably quick rate now. That was so far off on the splice it was almost on the handle. And there goes Salt. Now you've got to say, for England, from England's perspective, there have been a couple of good pressure catches taken today, especially that one that Archer took. I think it was to get rid of Abhishek, wasn't it? I mean, he had to make a lot of ground around to his right. It went very high, and he took it in the Australian manner, but it was still a very good catch. Cast now has 2 for 23. And well, you know, we've all been made fools of to a certain extent, because early in the England innings, when they were batting quite well, we were talking about the fact that the was it the average score or the high score here was 189, but to get to 171 wasn't a bad effort in the end, and India are going to fall well short of that. This is right up in the block hole, hit very low on the bat, I think, really. And nothing that Chakrabarti can do about that other than get it straight back to the bowler. And there is no run. Harry Brook was the man who took the previous catch. And, England, we're very happy. They will feel they should have finished it off on Saturday, but they have done here. Cars in again. Hits. I thought it had hit him on the pad, but he's actually got bat on that and does... steered it up to long on, but the body language tells you everything you need to know. It's one of disappointment from Aaron Chakravarti, and brings Bishnoi down to face his first ball. 3 balls remaining, 31 required. It's going to take a collapse of incredible proportions from England's bowlers. Nicely driven by Bishnoi. Out to extra cover. Did he send him back? Yes, they did. And then they think there might be an overthrow. Chakravarti racing back to the non-striker's end. But then they think, is there any point? And Bishnoi's thinking, you know, I batted quite well the other day. I helped get us over the line. So I wouldn't mind having a couple more balls, if that's all right with you. So Cars will come in. I think you've got to look at Adil Rashid. He bowled magnificently today. Cast in, slower ball, huge swipe by Bishnoi, completely done by the pace of it, and it scuttles its way through to Phil Salt. We were saying at the beginning of Adil Rashid's spell, God, he's going to have to go some to bowl 4 overs for 14 like he did on Saturday. But if anything, he bowled better, didn't he? And he got the really important wicket of Tilak, and was an absolute beauty, and bowled 2 or 3 others that deserved wickets. Full toss, smashed! That'll probably bring him 4. Great effort put in by a fielder out there. Might have been Joss Buttler. It's gone for 4, but it's not enough, and England have won. 145 for 9. India end up on. England win by 26 runs. They reduce the deficit to 2 games to 1, and it means we've got a series. We've got a match on Friday, and we've got a match on Sunday, and it would be even better for everyone concerned if England can draw level on Friday, so that we go to a decider.
Well, indeed, and England have lost all 3 tosses, so maybe they'll get to do something they actually want to do next time.
Well, it might be interesting to see. I mean, should India win a 4th toss in a row, where that, having suffered the reverse in this match, they decide that they want to go out and put up a total. And you would think India would quite like to do that, just to vary it a little bit and try something different. So
but maybe they think local conditions, dewy factor, it's always easier to chase. It should be anyway if the ball becomes in any way wet in the outfield.
Well, the other thing you've got to say then is that if and we did see them putting the rope round, didn't we, earlier, that if there was dew out there and the ball was getting wet, it kind of makes Adil Rashid's contribution even
better.
finer. Yeah, it really does. Okay, let's just deal with some final tweets, some final socials, and then we can talk about how much you're all going to invest in Gorilla Cricket's.
We'll have a quick chat about that before we go. But you give us some last.
Matthew Cullen says we should have a GorillaCon meetup when Messi is in the UK. Book a pub and do a lock-in. Well, I'm certainly open to meeting up people wherever they are as I travel around. I'm still in the process of making plans, but I want to record some interviews with some of you as well. Lockie says I'm shopping rentals in Gladstone, Australia at the moment. Stephen Kelk says Shami is 5'8", by the way. Lockie 6 says London is paved with gold. Get in touch. Are you a Patreon, Lockie? That's the question. Are you on our Discord channel? Do we have your email?
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be ways and means of doing this. You could probably email us. Let me just get something. I'll get a rough idea. I mean, it's a very simple principle. There's two ways of doing this. One, we get enough investors to buy something outright. I'll go and look at some property over the next couple of days. Two, we need 25% of whatever property to be able to get a mortgage, and that would be enough to buy to let on a one-bedroom flat. It would probably cost 700 or 800 quid a month, which is around about what we can afford anyway, and will be an investment, and the cost will be covered from what we do already, and hopefully we go on to make bigger and better things anyway. Or two, people invest the entire amount, we buy something outright, everyone becomes a shareholder anyway, but then there's no mortgage, and I guess some of the money we get off we put into a bank account to cover costs on everything and as a return to the shareholders once a year or something like that. We'd have to do tax returns and shit on something like that, but it'd be quite easy. I could set up Gorilla Cricket Limited, Gorilla Cricket Property Limited, and well, no, because we've already got Gorilla Cricket Limited.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be another company, and that would own the freehold and have the mortgage. Gorilla Cricket would be the tenant and pay the mortgage if it went that way, or Gorilla Cricket would own it outright, and Gorilla Cricket Property would own it outright. And Gorilla Cricket would pay a rental into an account that was split between the shareholders at the end of the year. I quite
like the idea of Gorilla Imperial Holdings. That would be quite good, wouldn't it?
We can have that. Limited though, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, limited. Yeah.
I thought it was more Gorilla Property Tycoons Limited.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it'd be quite easy to do if people are willing to do that. I mean, on that's what I mean. So to get a mortgage, on a commercial mortgage on something like that, you need 25% deposit. So if it was 200 grand, we need 50 grand of money to put on deposit plus costs, which is stamp duty, which is probably about.
Oh, you don't pay stamp duty on anything under 250,
you
do you?
do if it's a second property though, and that would be an interesting one because
it wouldn't be a second property.
Well, no, it would.
It's not a personal ownership though.
Yeah, it's not personal ownership, so it would be probably second. I don't know. I'd have to speak to someone about that actually.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't be in anyone's name; it would be in a company name. So you probably pay that sort of rate. So it'd be about 10 grand in stamp duty. Legal fees would be about 2 grand. So a 200 grand flat would be about 212 grand. 250 grand flat would be about 270.
I've just had a thought. Could you not let out part of your property to a few possums, and then sort of provide us with the income from the possums?
I haven't given you the latest possum news.
Oh, give us possum news.
We have relocated 6 possums.
Right.
We've taken them very kindly to the local golf course, which is fortunately no more than 600 metres away that you're allowed to take them, although it is a long way. But at the moment, possum land is quiet. And I don't know that their income is sufficient to cover the costs. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of ready cash available. All that I do have is being spent on my fucking trip.
It's fine. I tell you someone suggested it.
I tell you what, Messi, we could sell your property in Australia, bring you over here forever, and put you up in the flat. And then you wouldn't mind us coming in at all hours, would you?
And you'll let me out now and then.
Yeah, now and then. Yeah, obviously. That's something. It's definitely something worth looking into, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
There you go.
Anyway, we should call that a day.
I think we should. We'll be back at the same time, 1:20 on that's GMT, of course, on Friday for game number 4. Do we know where that one's coming from?
Oh,
if it's Friday, it must be.
I shall tell you.
It's Pune.
It's Pune. Yes.
Yeah, Pune. If it's Friday, it must be Pune.
And then we go to the Wankaday.
Right, we're going to the Wankaday. I wonder whether Anindo will be back at the Wankaday from Cambodia by then. We shall see. Anyway, that's it. England have won. Would you believe it? I wouldn't have believed it. From 115 for 7, 171 for 9. They got Duckett 51, Livingston 43, Buttler 24, Adil Rashid 10 not out. India 145 for 9, Hardik 40, Abhishek 24, Tilak 18, Aksa 15, Overton 3. 2 for Archer and Wood, and Adil Rashid I think really was the bowler of the day. Bowled absolutely beautiful, got the ball to turn, took out Tilak with an absolute beauty, and England are back in it. So until Friday, it's goodbye from Messi Jez.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from his possums on the golf course. It's goodbye from the bear.
Goodbye.
That's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.
Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than red counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe,